To the Talk of the Devil Racing League. We're here for race 17 of the season at the Japanese Grand Prix. I'm delighted to say, before the racing gets underway, I have been joined in the comms box by one of the drivers and one of the managers. I've got Mr. JBL, who is the manager for Mercedes, Renault, Alfa Romeo and Williams, and also Mr. Jack Giles, which is one of his drivers for the Williams team. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening.
Good evening.
So I'll start off with you, Jack. Obviously it was your first full-time race seat last time out at Russia. You came home in 13th position, which was a good result for you in the Williams. Difficult race though, wasn't it? How did you find the conditions as it started raining towards the end of the race? How did you find it?
Yeah, first race, had a decent qualifying session, qualified P14. Then in the race, kind of kept my nose clean first few laps. I think I was up into P11. Then I think it was edging on lap 40, it started to rain. A couple of us gambled on the intermediates, but it didn't really pay off because it wasn't wet enough for the inters. So last few laps I ended up on the dries again, but I didn't make up the time that I lost in the end.
Yeah, very tricky conditions, and we're looking forward to Japan now. Are you looking forward to this race? Do you like this track, or do you think you'll struggle a bit around here?
It's not my favourite track. Don't really get on well with the track. I haven't really had good results around here. I think this track is more suited to a wheel rather than the pad driver. But I think the plan for me is to just keep my nose clean, try and not crash or get involved in any accidents, and should pick up some decent points.
Yes, it could be just a case of finishing really and picking up some points. Looking ahead, because obviously like I said, it was your first full-time seat, you're contracted now to the end of the season with Williams. What's your hopes going forward? Because obviously being in the back of a grid car like the Williams, it's difficult to shine unless you have unusual conditions, but what's your hopes going forward?
Yeah, Williams is a tricky car to get hold of, very understeery, but I think it's a good challenge. I think if you do end up getting a good result in a car like the Williams, then it proves that you're a fairly decent driver, so hopefully I can get some solid results now for the end of the season and see what happens starting next season, if I can get a decent seat for next year.
Indeed, yes. And just very quickly, Mr. JBL, because everyone seems to be readying up a little bit early at the moment. Your four teams, good result for you last time out in terms of a win for Mercedes. Who, out of your four teams, which ones do you think is going to do well here this weekend in Japan?
So I think the Renaults are going to perform well here, just by judging their pace, and with Patrick, one of our drivers, seems to be having a good pace over the Racing Points, who seem to be our main rival at the moment, but in terms of pace, along with Red Bull. Mercedes are obviously the favourites going to this one. It seems to be one of their favourite tracks, just by terms of car performance, because the Ferrari are going to struggle here, especially through Sector 1, and Red Bull are going to struggle here through the straights. But it should be a good track for the Mercedes. It's definitely performed well for them in the last few seasons as well.
Yes, indeed, and a lot of your teams, like Renault, for example, now up into third place in the Constructors' Championship. We heard from Joe Allen last time that he reckons Red Bull might be able to nick that, and they're going to have a strong race here. What's your thoughts? Do you think Renault can hang on to third?
I believe that Renault will hold on to third. You
got a good strong driver lineup at Renault as well with Patrick and Matt. Patrick keeps getting home podiums. Matt keeps finishing in the top 7 or 8, which is good.
Yeah, he's a very consistent driver. Although his qualifying positions are not that great, he makes up for it very well during the race. So I can keep hold on that. And as you say, he's been finishing top 7, top 6 almost every single race. So he's been scoring good consistent points, which is what we need. After all, points are not going out during qualifying, except for pole position, but in the race mainly, and especially with the point system for this season, consistency is key.
Definitely, yes. Well, I better let you guys go because the session has started already. But thank you so much for joining me for the interviews, and have a good race, both of you.
Thank you.
Cheers, ciao.
So there we had our driver Jack Giles and our manager Mr. JBL. Always great to hear from a driver and a manager before the race starts. Just a couple of driver changes very quickly for this evening. Andrew Jacks is not driving for Alfa Romeo this evening. He has been replaced by Matt Pielko, who we saw last time out in Russia, who came home 10th position, if you remember. He had a good race there. And Gregor Telford, he's not racing for Toro Rosso this evening. He's been replaced by Chris Allen, or CJ Allen, who we have seen in the league before. I think it was last season he drove a couple of races. I seem to have some good pace. So that is what you've got to look out for. I will run through the championship situation in a little while. We do have a McLaren heading out on track. It's Mr. Joe Newman. He is the first person to leave the pits in Q1. For those of you that don't know, we lose the 5 slowest cars at the end of Q1. So for a lot of the top teams, it's just a case of getting through. And I've just been sent the weather report as well, and it looks like there could be rain in the middle of the race. So that is going to make it very interesting. It's a very difficult racetrack when it is wet. Very sorry, I'm just going to change some of my sound settings. That's a little bit better. Right, so we have a few cars now headed out on track. Mr. Joe Newman, as I said, is the first car out. I will try and do an onboard. I might actually try and do it with Joe, as he's the first one out. Do an onboard with you so you can see the racetrack and see what a great challenge it is for the drivers. So here we go, onto the pit straight. This is the only DRS zone on the circuit here. Heading up with DRS open about 200 miles an hour with the DRS wide open. Sweep into turn 1, then brake in the middle. He has run a little bit, he's completely missed the apex there for turn 2. That's so easy done. And he's backed out of the lap, so I won't go with an onboard with him, unfortunately. That's okay, I will get one in for you with someone. At some point between now and the end of the session, I will get an onboard lap in. So this is Anthony Bauer, who had a difficult race last time out. He came home in 6th position, had a difficult qualifying session as well. So let's see if he can improve on that. He's on his quick lap now. CJ Allen is also out on track. There he is, just starting his first flying lap in the Toro Rosso. Toro Rossos and Red Bulls, look out for those in the first couple of sectors. I've heard that a lot from people over the course of the week. They reckon the Toro Rosso and the Red Bull are going to be very strong in that first sector. There he is through the Dunlop curve. Down into the hairpin. Difficult braking zone there. Arthur Bowler's gone fastest on a 1:29.6. Anthony Bauer's gone second. Sorry, Waddington, has gone second, and Anthony Bauer's gone third. George Massey in the Alfa Romeo, he goes into 4th place. But it's, like I said, for the top teams like the Mercedes and the Ferraris, it's certainly set the racing points. It's just all about getting through this first session. So CJ Allen comes through. Matt Pielko's gone 5th in the second Alfa Romeo. And CJ Allen's gone 6th. So it's very, very close in there. Here is Ollie's gone 7th in a slow lap. So he must have made a mistake somewhere. Joe Newman's abandoned the run altogether. It's come straight back into the pits. And it looks like Patrick's going very, very slowly on this lap as well. Here is Callum Harrod in the Red Bull. Another one who had a difficult, challenging race at Russia. Got caught out with the conditions a fair amount and ended up in 9th place in the race. Gareth Lambourne's gone 7th in the Haas. Oh, there's a car off in the gravel there. I think that's Ollie getting out of the way, I believe. Might be Arthur Bowler actually getting out of the way. It was certainly a racing point from what I could see. Lots of cars having to dive out of the way of Callum. Yellow flags everywhere as cars are trying to find a little bit of space, trying to give a little bit of space as well. But Callum Harrod comes across the line and he goes second fastest on a 1:29.8. So Dan Blackwell in the second Red Bull is also on a lap. Tom Cosme goes 4th. Good result there in the Alfa Romeo. He's in his second race of his Talk of the Devil career. Last time out at Russia, he came home in 8th position. So very good result in the Haas car. So Dan Blackwell now coming through. I'll try and do another on board with Joe Newman when he comes through to complete his lap, so you can see what a great track this is. So Dan Blackwell goes 4th, only a 10th slower than his teammate. So let's see if I can quickly find Joe Newman. Here we go. So this is the pit straight, as I said, up to about 200 miles an hour here. Into turn 1, you sweep and you have to brake in the middle of the corner. It's so easy. And again, you slightly miss the apex there. Get away with it. Then he's into these S's. So important, these S's. You almost treat them as sort of one ongoing code. You've got to get your line right through them. Especially in this one here, foot to the hill, into Dunlop. About 135 on the entrance, and just keeps turning left, keeps going left, and into Degley, flick down a couple of gears, 145 miles an hour, then brake for the second part, down to 75. A lot of grip on the exit of that corner, always has been under the tunnel. Sweep right, then brake as late as you can into this hairpin, the slowest corner on the circuit, 45 miles an hour. Again, very important to get good traction on the exit here. Then 180R, this is called, this corner, easy in the driver. Look out for if it does rain in the race, because it is going to be treacherous in here. Into Spoon, 115 in the first part, break down into the second part, 95 miles an hour. Again, important to have a very good exit from here. You've got this long back straight over the crossover part of the track, then into 130R. Again, easy flat these days in an F1 car. And then down into the chicane at the end of the lap. Brake as late as you dare. 55 miles an hour in the first part, 65 for the second. Back on the throttle. And then just keep accelerating. DRS halfway down the straight. Joe Newman goes into 13th position. So that is your lap of Suzuka. Order at the moment. And Patrick Orozco has retired from the session. It looks like he's spun. Coming out. Yes, he has. There he is. Just picked up his teammate. He spun coming out of the second part of the Degner curve. So Patrick Orozco, who has been so consistently finishing in podium positions in this race, is out of the first part of qualifying. Disaster for him. We were just talking to his manager earlier about the chances of Renault staying up in third place in the Constructors' Championship. That has given it a bit of a blow, that. Here's his teammate, who's currently in 14th position, only waiting for 2 more people to set lap times. 1 more person now to set lap times, and Scott Larvin is on his lap. The order at the moment is Arthur Bowler fastest from Dean Barry. Matt Anderson jumps up to 13th, by the way. Callum Harrod is 3rd, Ant Waddington 4th. Stephen Harrison is 5th in the Ferrari, followed by Dan Blackwell. Then it's Ollie and Tom Cosme in 7th and 8th. Anthony Bauer is 9th. George Massey is 10th, just ahead of his teammate Matt Pielko. CJ is 12th in the Toro Rosso. Matt Anderson, as we've seen, just up to 13th. Sam Congreve is 14th. The McLarens do seem to be struggling here, as Anthony Bauer goes fastest in the Ferrari, 1:29.5. One person left to set a lap time, and it's this man, Scott Larvin. He's on his outlap as we speak. So where can he finish here? Where can he get up to? He finished 12th in the last race in Russia. He'll certainly be looking to try and get close to his teammate, who's in 12th at the moment on 1:30.7. So can Scott Larvin get anywhere near that lap time? So as I said, disaster for Patrick Carrasco to be. He will be starting at the back of the grid. That's not at all what he would have wanted to see. But it will be very interesting. Oh, as Scott Larvin nearly does exactly the same thing as a massive oversteer moment out of the second Degner. It is in the central power zone there, so you can be a little bit heavy with your right foot and end up in that wall, as we've seen Patrick do. What can Scott do? We've got a few cars heading back out on track as well. The two Williams are currently 16th and 17th, only just behind the two McLarens, who do seem to be struggling. The lack of power here really does seem to be affecting them more than the other racetracks. Of course, we saw Williams have a cracking result in Russia with a 7th for Ken and a 13th for Jack. So they had an absolutely brilliant race there. Anthony Bauer has retired from the session. He feels he's done enough, and fair enough, he is easily fastest as Scott Larvin goes 17th. So both Ferraris have retired. Here is Jack Giles. He's gone out on the same set of soft tyres as he was on before. We've got a couple of cars heading back out as well, but they're quite high up the order. Dean Barry's gone back out again in 3rd place, and Waddington feels he's done enough as well, has also retired from the session, as has Arthur Bowler now. We've got 5 minutes of qualifying to go. Can Jack Giles get himself anywhere near? To get himself out of the bottom 5, he only needs to find about 0.02 of a second. That's all he needs to find at the moment. Let's see how he's doing. He's a bit down in the middle sector. He's backed out of this lap. Here is Gareth Lambourne. He's the other person down in the bottom 5 as well. In the Haas. Has another one of his consistent drives to points in Russia. Came home in 16th position. Picked up yet more points for the Haas team. Had such a consistent season as Gareth. As he comes through now to the last chicane, can he improve his lap time? As Gareth goes across the line, he finds a second. Very good lap from Gareth, but not quite enough to lift him off the bottom spot at the moment. So Jack and Scott are both in the pits. Ken Helberstad is on his outlap. He's the other person in the bottom 5 at the moment. Let's see how. Here is the Alfa Romeo Matt Pielko. He's on a slow lap. This is Ollie Cernan in the Racing Point. He's improved up to 4. So another good lap from the Racing Points. They really do have some very good qualifying pace for the Racing Points. Unfortunately for them, they both retired from the last race. Ollie's retired from the last 2 races, if you remember as well. Both of them quite early on. So Matt Anderson has retired out on track as well. He's spun up at the Dunlop curve. Well, he was saying earlier he wasn't looking forward to this race at all. And there you can see him. He's in the wall. And Tom Cosme's spun as well somewhere on track, I can see. So Tom Cosme also is out of the session. He's 9th at the moment. That might be enough to see him through. But disaster for Renault on a race. Well, they've got a 43-point gap for third place over Red Bull, but at the moment it looks like they're both going to be quite a long way down in qualifying, because Patrick's definitely starting last. So yeah, Patrick not very happy at all about his accident. I'm going to see if I can maybe chat to Patrick as well before we go any further. George Massey out on track as well on another flying lap. Let's see how Ken Helmstad is doing. Gareth Lambourne has retired as well from the session, so he's not going to go any further. Ken Helmstad here is half a second up. That might just, well, it will move him up a couple of places as long as his teammate doesn't get in his way, and he doesn't. Jack Giles out for another lap, but Ken Helmstad is improving by half a second here as he goes over, and he moves up another place, up to 17th. So we've got Jack Giles and Scott Larvin all out. Both out on track as well. They're the other two in the bottom 5 at the moment. Joe Newman is on a much better lap. He's found half a second so far on this lap as he goes across line up to 13th. That should be enough. Let's see how Giles is getting on in his quick lap here. He's a fraction down. He needs to find about 3.5 tenths. I'm just to see if I can very quickly get Patrick in. So Jack Giles in the Williams. Is CJ on a better? No, he's on a slow lap. I think he's coming into the pits here. He's not going to have enough time, so it's all down to these two. I have been joined by Patrick Orozco. Hello, Patrick.
I meant to check my out. Hi.
That's okay. If you just make sure your audio's included, mate. Cheers. Well, disaster starts qualified for you. What happened?
Yeah, I was on a really good. I had a purple first sector. I was feeling really good around here. I've done a lot of practice. First time I've ever done that. Out of the second deck, and I just got on the outside curb, lost the car. Didn't think I would have lost my wheel, but I made a tap on the wall, lost my wheel. I forget it's simulation damage, so it's the slightest touch can mean the tire falls off, and it wasn't a hard hit or anything.
Yes, indeed. We saw your teammate do exactly the same thing up at the Dunlop curve. It's not been great qualifying for Renault here, has it?
Oh, he retired too? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he spun up at Dunlop.
But yeah, it's
long
a shame.
left-hander.
Yeah, it's a shame. I was looking really good around here too. I did a 28.7 in practice. And I was looking really decent. I'm really glad about that. But I think we, both me and Matt, can make it up in the race. He's especially really good at moving positions.
Yeah. So I was just going to ask you, what's your target now for the race? Obviously, it's changed because before I think usually you'd be fighting for a podium. That's where we've normally seen you. What's your goals now? Do you still think you can get a podium, or you would be happy for a top 6, top 10 finish?
I think I can get top 5 if nothing goes wrong. If I don't get wind damage, if I make it my way through the field, I think I can get top 5. Like I said, I have really decent pace around here, so I think that I'm still gonna fight tooth and nail for a top 5 finish. but we'll have to see. It's going to be really likely to get damage at some point with how narrow this track is. And I'm sure people are going to be fighting like hell, because it's down to the final few races of the season. So.
Yes, indeed. Well, I'll let you go back and join your team's chat now. But thank you very much for joining me, Patrick, and I hope you have a better race.
Yep, thank you, man. Cheers.
No problem. So, you probably just saw up on the screen. The bottom 5 that went out there was Jack Giles in the Williams, Ken Helberstad in the other Williams, Scott Larvin in the Toro Rosso, Gareth Lambourne in the McLaren, and Patrick, who we've just heard from, also went out. Matt Anderson also retired from the session, so he is going to be starting 15th. We're into Q2 now. And again, for those of you that don't know or watching for the first time, in Q2, it's about getting into the top 10 shootout for qualifying. But the top 10, whatever tyres they set their quickest lap on, those are the tyres they start the race on. So we do sometimes see some cars going out with medium tyres on instead of the softs to try and have a longer first stint. And that could be crucial here, because if there is rain coming in the middle of the race and you can start on the medium tyres, you could possibly coax them to when the rain comes. But as we saw in Russia, the rain came for the last 15 laps, but it wasn't strong enough to require intermediate. So it's a very different concept here. You never know what is going to happen. Just very quickly, while the cars are heading out for their outlaps, in the Drivers' Championship, Stephen Harrison, after finishing second in Russia, extended his championship lead to 14 points over his teammate. Dan Blackwell still just about hanging on. He's 34 points back from Stephen in third place. It's those three you would think that would be fighting for the championship. Dean Barry's 67 points down. There's 5 races to go, including this one. It would be a tall order from there, but you never know. Never say never. A couple of other battles to look out for going down the grid. Well, Patrick Horosco, we've just heard from, is only 11 points behind Joe Newman. They're in fighting for 8th place in the World Championship. And also Arthur Bowler's only 6 points clear of Matt Anderson in the fight for 6th in the championship as well. Another point to look out for here in terms of the Constructors' Championship here today. If Ferrari score 7 points today, so they would just need one of their cars to come home in 14th position or higher, they will win the Constructors' Championship. They have a 218 point lead, and there is 225 available, including this race. So if they finish with 7 points, they will snatch the Constructors' World Championship. Quite a close battle going on for second. There's 25 points between Mercedes and Renault. Obviously Renault with those setbacks now with qualifying, that is going to be a challenge for them. But again, you never know what's going to be happening. And Wellington, if you remember, had a difficult race in Russia. He ended up coming home in 15th position, so you never know what's going to happen. Also behind that, there's quite a close battle between Red Bull and Haas. They're 12 points apart in the fight for 4th and 16 points further clear of Racing Point. So that is a very close battle. And then you've got Toro Rosso and Alfa Romeo separated by 8 points. But closing very quickly in the last couple of races is Williams. They're 31 points behind Alfa Romeo. We saw the wet and damp conditions help them out hugely in Russia. Forecast more rain for this race, so you never know what could happen here for Williams. But they're not that far off the back of the pack now, which is great news. Excuse me. So we've got these first laps now in Q2. Callum Harrod here on the medium tyres, so he is going to try and go long in the first stint. Arthur Bowler goes fastest on a 29.5. Callum does at 130.5. There is a 1 compound gap between the soft tyres and the medium tyres. That's why the soft are so much quicker around here, but they won't last as long. Anthony Bauer goes fastest on the medium tyres, completely throwing my theory out of the water. He does a 129.3. Dan Blackwell's gone for softs as well. He's up into 3rd place. Ollie's gone 4th, and Waddington's gone 5th, with Sam in 6th position. Here is Tom Cosme. He had a great qualifying last time out. He qualified 8th on the grid. He'll certainly be looking to replicate that. Get that Haas into the top 10. Matt Pielka's done a good lap time there, 1:29.9. That's a very good lap in the Alfa Romeo to put him 5th. He was another one who qualified in the top 10 in the last race. Tom Cosme goes 5th fastest on 1:29.8. Also on the soft tyres, so that's a very good effort from him. CJ Allen's just started his lap. Here is Stephen Harrison. He is on the medium tyres as well. George Massey, here he is. He's on the softs. He also top 10 in Russia, qualified 7th. Crashed out, unfortunately, in the race when the rain started to fall, which brought out the safety car. So a couple of yellow flags out there. I think cars are just trying to get a little bit of space, but what can George Massey do on his soft tyres? His teammate's up in 6th, he goes 11th. He had a very slow end to the lap. So here is Stephen Harrison, looking like he's getting a bit of a tow from his teammate, which is helping him mentally down the back straight. Oh, one Ferrari got in the way of the other one there. That's not going to go down well with their manager, but Stephen Harrison goes 8th fastest. I don't know how much time we would have lost there. But after about, looks as if he was moving out of the way, then just seemed to completely miss his braking point and ended up flying off the road. Here is CJ Allen. He's in 13th position. Let's see where this puts him as he goes across the line, and he goes 11th. So we're only going to lose 4 from this session because, of course, Matt Anderson crashed out in session 1. So at the moment, in the bottom 4, CJ Allen for Toro Rosso, Sam Congreve in the McLaren, George Massey in the Alfa Romeo, but I can't help thinking he is going to go faster. He is already 1.3 seconds up, and that was on the... Now he's 3 seconds up, and we had a very slow final sector, so this is a bit more like it. Still waiting for Joe Newman to venture out on track. Let's see what George Massey can do. He goes 9th on a 1:30.0, so not that much slower than his teammate. Very, very close, though, in that midfield battle between between Dan Blackwell and Dean Barry as well, you've got to say, in 3rd position, all the way down to Ant Waddington in 10th. There is just less than half a second. It is very, very tight in there. Callum Harrod is going to have to go back out on track at the moment. He's down in 11th place. So it's all gone a bit quiet now. Well, we have got a bit of a quiet spell. Just to let you know, I am keeping an eye on the Twitch chat. So if anybody's got any comments they would like to say during the recording, then please do leave a message on the Twitch chat stream and I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. If you've got any questions or any comments at all or any predictions for the race, then please do feel free to leave a message. So George Massey coming back into the pit, still waiting for Joe Newman to venture out on track. He's even quite late, but here is Ollie Cernan in the Racing Point. He's 7th at the moment, found a 10th and a half in the first sector, but like I said, it's so tight in that midfield pack at the moment that would move him up to at least 5th, and he could be knocking the door of even Dan Blackwell in 4th place, so could be crucial here. His teammates up in 2nd. Racing Point desperate for a good result. Like I said, both cars retired. They dropped from 4th to 6th in the Constructors' Championship after Russia. Let's see how he can do as he comes through down into the final chicane. As he goes round the last corner. And Ollie Cernan goes third fastest. He'll be very happy with that. A 1:29.6. Excellent lap time from him. Matt Bielko fraction down in the first sector. Just coming through to complete his second sector point now. And he's a quarter of a second up. So again, this would move him up towards the top 4 as well. It's very, very tight. As Matt Bielko crosses the line, and he goes up to third as well, also on a 29.6. Excellent lap from Matt Bielko. A couple of comments on Twitch. Scott Larvin, who's going to win tonight, Dixon? Well, I honestly don't know. It's very, very tight. Ferrari's looking strong. Mercedes looking strong as well. One of the top teams, most definitely, as Ant Waddington sets fastest lap of the session so far. But I will plump for Anthony Bauer winning tonight. That's my prediction for the race. So let's watch him crash out on lap 1 as I predicted that. Jack Giles says how many safety cars tonight? Well, it's a difficult one. I think with the rain, I think certainly a couple if when the rain comes down. The problem around here is it's such a narrow track. It's an old school racetrack as well, with a lot of barriers not far away from the racetrack, gravel traps as well. It's very easy to spin off in treacherous conditions. So I don't think it will be too long if the rain comes down heavy before we have a safety car. But I would say 2 or 3 at least. So order at the moment, Ant Waddington fastest from Anthony Bauer. Arthur Bowler is third. Callum Harrod has gone fourth. As here comes Tom Crosby, he has abandoned his lap. So here we see a couple of cars heading back out on track. Stephen Harrison's had to go back out again. He's on the medium tyres in the Ferrari. George Massey is out as well. Let's see how he's doing. He's a fraction down in the first sector, but look at how close it is now. There's less than a second covering the top 11. It is very, very close in there. Joe Newman now has gone out on track with 2.5 minutes to go. Sam Congreve out as well. The two McLarens at the moment are the slowest cars in session 2. They really do seem to be struggling around here. But here is George Massey. He's 11th at the moment. If he improves by 0.02 of a second, he'll move into 10th place and knock Stephen Harrison. Don't forget the disaster Ferrari had in Russia where both cars failed to make it out of Q2 due to some mistiming. They're trying to avoid that because Stephen Harrison's gone out as well on track. Anthony Bauer looks comfortably through at the moment in second. But like I said, it's so tight, the lap times here. Here comes George Massey. He comes across the line and he does improve into 10th position. And Stephen Harrison's gone off at turn 1, so his lap's been disallowed. He will have just enough time to make it round and do another lap. CJ Allen, that's going to be time for him to come round and complete his lap with 1.5 minutes to go. So Sam Congreve and Joe Newman on outlaps. Dean Barry, Dan Blackwell and Tom Cosme have also all gone out. They feel like they're not quite safe, and with the lap times this close you can't really blame them. It is very, very close in there. So let's see how Sam can do. Joe Newman as well. Oh, a lot of grass there, really pushing hard. Sam Congreve just picking up a bit of grass on the exit, trying to find any extra improvement he can. He's found 1/8 of a second in the first sector, so not looking too bad at the moment if he can keep that going. So let's have a look. As Sam Congreve comes through Spoon. And at the moment, Stephen Harrison is on his second lap. He did make it round in time. CJ Allen isn't quite going to make it. A little bit of bad timing there, unfortunately, for the Toro Rosso. But here comes Sam Congreve. Can he improve? He's 13th at the moment. He's less than a 10th behind CJ Allen. But he's got to find quite a lot to move himself into the top 10. And he goes 12th. Couldn't quite find enough. So Joe Newman, what about Stephen Harrison? He's actually slightly down in the first sector. He needs to find something here. And Joe Newman looks like he's given up on this lap. So it does look as if Joe Newman is going to be starting 14th on the grid. 2 places behind his teammate, and he has indeed abandoned his lap. Let's see what Stephen Harrison can do here. As he comes through, he's a 10th down. Is he going to do this here? He's going to have to find something in the final sector, or will he be out of qualifying for a second race in a row? Stephen Harrison goes across the line and just makes it through by the skin of his teeth. Knocks out George Massey's Alfa Romeo, and well, that was very, very too close for comfort there. Dean Barry has gone second in the end in the Mercedes. So, wow, that was very close for Stephen Harrison. But he does start once again on the medium tyres. There we see the result from Q2. The 2 Mercedes are looking the strongest cars at the moment. They're first and second. Dan Blackwell third. Anthony Bauer fourth for Ferrari. Excellent lap from Tom Cosme in fifth. Arthur Bowler sixth for Racing Point. Callum Harrod in 7th, Matt Pielko in 8th. Good effort, again making it into the top 10. Ollie 9th and Stephen Harrison 10th. And there we see the 4 out. George Massey, Sam Congreve, CJ Allen and Joe Newman. And then obviously Matt Anderson starts in the 15th position after crashing out in Q1. So into Q3, we lose 3 minutes off the time here. We're down to 12 minutes for this session. So it will be enough for 2 runs if they get out quick enough. And the cars are starting to come out onto track. Now we have a Racing Point is the first one, which is Arthur Bowler. He does normally like to be out fairly soon in Q1, but he's letting the Ferrari go. So just very quickly as well, while everyone's on their out laps, new thing we're going to trial today, for those of you watching on the Twitch stream who watch the races, there'll be a fan vote for Driver of the Day. I'll vote for Driver of the Day, but there will also be a fan's choice as well. So get voting on the Twitch chat feed for your Driver of the Day. I have been joined in the commentary box by Mr. Joe Newman. Good evening, Joe. Sorry, I didn't hear that, mate.
Don't all vote for me at once.
Oh, you'll always have my vote, Joe. But anyway, starting 14th on the grid today. Your McLaren car seems to be struggling a little bit around here. Is it a lack of power, or have you guys been struggling with the setup?
No, I think setup-wise it's okay. It's just massive lack of power in Sector 3. It's just that back straight absolutely kills us off with the Renault engine.
Yeah, I did think that. I mean, the Renaults have struggled a little bit as well here. So from 15th on the grid, what's your hopes for the race? So he failed to finish last time out, so I presumably be wanting to finish.
Yeah,
No worries,
I
mate.
think
You crashed out in the rain last time, if you remember. But
I've
how
completely bottled
far
it.
up do you think you can go?
You know, I'm looking for top 10. I think the person I'm looking to beat anyway is Matt Anderson. I haven't got really too many worries behind me. We've got Scott behind me, but he'll bottle it anyway. Giles is pretty good in the Williams, isn't he? He'd probably get a good result. A safety car or two would be nice.
Yes, and forecast for rain for the race as well. Do you think that will help you?
Effort-wise, I think I'm okay for rain.
Okay, excellent. Well, I'll let you go back to your team.
Oh,
Thank
good
you very
one.
much for joining me, Joe, and have a good race, mate. So, cars are just on their out laps now, all their quick laps. And Wellington and Stephen Harrison deciding to stay in the pits for now. So maybe they're just going to have one run. So waiting for the first cars to cross the line. Anthony Bauer. He had that run of 5 pole positions in a row. Don't forget, whoever gets pole position here will get a point. So it is a little bit of an incentive here. 1:28.5. The first lap we've seen stay down in the 1 minute 28s. So good effort there from Anthony Bauer. Dean's gone second. Callum Harron is third. Dan Blackwell fourth. The Red Bulls, I think, are missing that little bit of power towards the end of the lap. Arthur Bowler's gone sixth, but Ollie's gone fourth. He split the Red Bulls. Arthur Bowler had a slow lap there. Tom Cosme, let's see what he can do in the Haas. Had a brilliant qualifying last time out. Once again into the top 10. He qualified in 8th place last time out. We'll certainly be hoping to replicate that as he goes across the line, and he goes 6th. Also quicker than the Red Bull of Dan Blackwell. So good effort again from Tom Cosme. Ant Wellington and Stephen Harrison, they have elected to stay in the pits for now. So there we see, after the first runs, Ant Wellington and Stephen Harrison now are both out on track. But there we see the order after the first runs. Anthony Bauer comfortably quicker than the Mercedes of Dean Barry. And that's surprising. The Mercedes has looked strong around here. Scott Larvin, I think that's can't believe his ears are with the interview with Joe. Good to see that little bit of banter going on with you two. Frankly, I would laugh if Joe crashed out first, but anyway, that's a different story. As Arthur Bowler goes third fastest with his second lap, so he is again looking good. We've got Ryan Sturman. Hello, Ryan. Thank you for watching. He reckons it'll be a safety car on lap 1 of the race, but it's not impossible. Narrow track, 3-4 abreast into turn 1 is more than possible. But Arthur Bowler did well there on his second lap, got himself up into third place. Don't forget, he qualified on the front row of the grid in Russia. And he's right up there again. Once again, the racing points really do look as if they've got some great qualifying pace. They do need some points though. As Ant Waddington goes through the final chicane. And he starts his flying lap. Stephen Harrison just ahead. So let's see how he gets on. So Stephen goes purple in the first sector. So he'll certainly be looking to beat his teammate. Don't forget, they're the main two in the World Championship fight. So let's have a look. So Stephen Harrison comes through the final chicane and he goes across the line and he goes fourth, and Ant Waddington goes second. So they drop Stephen to fifth. So that is your grid order after the first runs in Q3, after everyone's done their laps. Ollie's gone out again, so has Dan Blackwell. He'll certainly be looking to improve from 10th on the grid. But Dean Barry in the Mercedes comes through. He was on pole position last time out. So can he improve now, get himself ahead of his teammates? Only half a tenth slower than his teammate Ant Waddington. Very, very evenly matched the last couple of races, those two Mercedes. Ant was unlucky in Russia, spun out with the conditions. And he's a fraction up in the first sector by about a tenth. Let's see if he can maintain that through this middle sector. It's still a very technical sector with a bit more heavy braking zones, like with a hairpin and the second part of Degner. It's so important to have your car really well set up for that section, but also to have good straight line speed. Let's see how he's doing. Middle sector, he's lost a fraction to what he was up before, but this might just see him pop onto the front row. I don't think he'll be close to Anthony Bauer. And he does go second. He does go second. Still a couple of tenths down on the Ferrari. So pretty much everyone out on track apart from Ant and Stephen. It just looks as if they're only doing one run here today in Q3, unless they can get out of the pits now, which I don't think they are. So yes, that is them out of qualifying. That is as quick as they can go. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. That's one of the racing points. Just trying to get a little bit of space by the looks of it. Or maybe give his teammate a tow, who knows. Let's have a look. Yes, it does look as if he's going to give his teammate a tow down this back straight here. Arthur Bowler is the lead racing point, and he is helping Ollie out massively here. As long as they don't double cross themselves like the Ferraris did. And what a middle sector here for Ollie Cernan. He's 3 tenths up. If he can just maintain it in the chicane, this will see him move up a few positions if he can judge this right. Let's have a look. He goes 4. Excellent lap from Ollie Cernan. Can he now repay the compliment to his teammate and give him a tow later on in the lap? Anthony Bauer's out on track as well. Yellow flag in sector 3. There we see why. Dean Barry crawling back to the pits. Might possibly be out of fuel. They do run them very, very tight on fuel. So Anthony Bauer is a fraction down in the middle sector. Let's see how Arthur's getting on. He's a tenth down. So let's have a look. We're into the last few seconds of qualifying now. Anthony Bauer comes through the last corner. and he doesn't quite improve. 8 thousandths of a second off. Callum Harrod is on his quick lap now. He's in 6th position. Stephen Harrison has retired from the session. He cannot improve, and Waddington is out, is in the pits as well, so he is not going to improve either. But who knows what else can happen? It is still very close. Still only a second and a half covering the top 10 and only 8/10 covering the top 8. It is still very, very close. And Dan Blackwell is on a much better lap. This might just see him around Stephen Harrison for 8th on the grid. Let's see what he can do as he comes round the final corner. Dan Blackwell goes across the line and he moves up to 5th. Stunning final lap from him. Callum Harrod is not going to improve, I don't think. He's having a slow lap. Matt Pielko comes across the line and he does improve, but he remains in 10th position, so that's as high as he's going to go. Tom Cosme's not on a quick lap either, and I think Anthony Bauer's on a slow down lap too. Yes, he is. So I think that is it now for qualifying. So there we have it. For the 6th time in 7 races, Anthony Bauer takes pole position. Can you believe it? He's being so consistent in qualifying. Alongside him is Dean Barry and Waddington 3rd on the grid. Ollie Cernan, great effort from him, 4th. Dan Blackwell 5th in the first of the Red Bulls. 6th for Arthur Bowler, underlying what a strong day it's been for Racing Point. Excuse me, but the disappointment of the session, I think definitely will be World Championship leader Stephen Harrison in 9th position. Remainder of the top 10, Callum Harrod in 7th. Tom Cosme in 8th. Stephen Harrison, as I said, 9th. And Matt Pielko will start in 10th position. So there we have confirmation of the grid for the Japanese Grand Prix. We're now going to have a few minutes break. We've got, in fact, an 8-minute break. So I will be back with you in a few minutes for the start of the race. So yes, good evening everyone and welcome to round 17 of the Talk of the Devil World Championship here at the Suzuka circuit in Japan. One of the most popular races on the calendar, the land of the midnight sun here in Japan. It first came on the calendar back in 1976, held in atrocious conditions at the Fuji circuit, which was a race won by Mario Andretti in the Lotus. But that race is far more famous as being the race that James Hunt clinched his world championship by finishing third. And it was the sign of things to come here in Japan. 13 times the Japanese Grand Prix has decided the Drivers' World Championship. It was the first Asian country on the calendar, and it remained so until 1999 when it was joined by Malaysia. It is also one of only 7 countries in history to host 2 rounds of the championship in 1 year, as the Pacific Grand Prix was held in Japan as well at the Aida circuit in 94 and 95. The track is owned by Honda, so it's always been hugely popular amongst the fans, especially in the old McLaren Honda days, in the days of Senna and Prost. In fact, I read a story earlier today of the 1990 race where there was 120 tickets on offer, which is the capacity of the track, and 3 million fans applied for tickets, just showing how popular it was at the time. It did wane a little bit. Honda and Toyota, if you remember, pulled out of F1 in 2008 due to the financial troubles around the world. But since then, Honda came back to F1 as an engine supplier in 2015. So expect to see a lot of support for Red Bull and Toro Rosso around the racetrack here today. The track itself is just over 5.8 kilometres long, which is just over 3.6 miles. It's got 18 corners, and it really does have it all here at Suzuka. We've got the S's in the first sector to sweeping fast bends like Spoon and 180R through the middle of the track, and then slow corners like the hairpin and the chicane right at the end of the lap. And at the chicane, we've seen a lot of instances over the years, most memorably the Senna and Prost incident back in 1989, which decided the World Championship. Also a lot of elevation change, and it's a narrower track than normal. It's more of an old school racetrack, grass and gravel waiting to punish any mistakes by the drivers, and the walls aren't that far off the racetrack either. Look out for it in the rain as well. There is rain forecast, and with that elevation change, it does tend to lead to slight rivers coming across the track at certain points, especially up in the S's as well. So look out for that in the race, because it will make it very, very treacherous. Michael Schumacher is the most successful driver in history here. He's won here 6 times. Lewis Hamilton's won here 5 times. And McLaren are the most successful team in history here. They've taken 9 Grand Prix victories here over the years. There's only one DRS zone on this racetrack to look out for, which is down the main pit straight. The lap record, which we usually do end up beating here in the league, it was set last year by Lewis Hamilton, a 1:30.983, so have a look out for that. And also with the tyres, as I said earlier, there's the soft compound, but then there is a compound gap to the mediums. So it's C2 for the soft tyres, but then C4 and C5, the 2 slightly harder tyre compounds for the medium and hard compounds here. So that is why the soft tyres are quite a lot faster, but they do tend to wear out a little bit quicker. Running through the grid, Anthony Bauer with his 6th pole position in 7 races gets an extra point, of course, for starting on pole position. Dean Barry lines up alongside him on the front row in the Mercedes. Ant Waddington 3rd. Don't forget what a great start he had in Russia, as the drivers are now just about to start on their formation lap. So they all head off now. But don't forget, Ant Waddington had such a good start in Russia, starting 4th, ended up 2nd by turn 1. So look out for him at the start. Ollie Cernan with a great effort in the racing point to line up in 4th position. Dan Blackwell 5th in the first of the Red Bulls, 6th for Arthur Bowler in the 2nd racing point. So both racing points in the top 6, the only team to actually do that as well. So great effort from the Racing Point team. Callum Howard 7th in the 2nd of the Red Bulls. Tom Cosme yet again in the top 10 in qualifying, 7th in Russia on the grid if you remember, and 8th here. Excellent qualifying lap from him. Stephen Harrison will be disappointed, I think, with his qualifying. He lines up in 9th place. Matt Pielko in the Alfa Romeo will be pleased yet again in the top 10, as he was in Russia. So a good start to his Fork of the Devil career with 2 top 10 qualifying slots. Behind them, George Massey is 11th in the second of 2 Alfa Romeos. McLarens, we heard from Joe Newman, they are struggling a little bit with their power disadvantage with the Renault engine. The highest one of those is 12th on the grid in Sam Conbury. CJ Allen, his first race this season for Toro Rosso, he lines up in 13th position. Joe Newman, 14th on the grid in the second McLaren. Matt Anderson, 15th, disastrous qualifying for Renault. He's the highest of the Renaults, and he crashed out at the end of Q1, so he didn't take part in Q2. Jack Giles and Ken Helberstad, they line up 16th and 17th. Look out for those in the rain. We saw in Russia how well they did. Ken coming through to finish in 7th place there in the rain, so look out for them if the rain does come down. Scott Larvin, 18th on the grid. Gareth Lambourne in 19th. And Patrick Orozco, he crashed in the first part of qualifying, and he lines up at the back, but it should be fascinating to see him coming through the field today. So they're just coming through now to complete their formation lap. And this is the most tense time for the drivers. And don't forget as well, Ferrari need just 7 points and they will wrap up the Constructors' Championship here today. And also, like I said, for those watching on the stream, please leave comments on the Twitch page. I will get to as many as I can during the race. So they're lining up now on the grid. There you can see the tyre compounds. Anthony Bauer starts on the medium tyres, as does his teammate and Matt Anderson. Everyone else is on the soft tyres. And here come the lights. 5 lights on. It's lights out. Away we go. Great start from Anthony Bauer. And Waddington's had another good start from 3rd on the grid. He's getting up alongside his teammate, one of the Red Bulls. Callum Harris had a cracking start as well. But Anthony Bauer hangs on. Dean just hangs on to 2nd and ran a little bit wide. Callum Harris, what a start he's had. From 7th on the grid up into 4th place. The 2 Mercedes wheel to wheel, and just about prevails there. He takes 2nd place, so another good start from him. And it does look as if they've all got through the first couple of corners cleanly. No incidents whatsoever. See, Matt Pielko's had a bit of a poor start. He's dropped a few places. He's down to 14th. Stephen Harrison's up to 7th already. So he's had a good start. They come through this first sector. But look at the pressure the 2 Mercedes are putting on Anthony Bauer. Don't forget, Anthony on the slightly harder tyres, on the mediums. So he is going to be a little bit vulnerable to those on the soft tyres at the start of the race. But cracking start from Callum Harrod, up 3 places on the grid. I saw him just squeezing through. And he made it sick. And look at Ant Waddington getting very close to Anthony Bauer down the inside. That's not an overtaking spot usually. But Anthony Bauer just hangs on and still up the inside. He should get a little bit more traction with those soft tyres. But Anthony Bauer just resisting it at the moment as they come up into 130R. And Ant Waddington moves into the lead. What an opening lap he's had once again. Down into the chicane. Is Anthony Bauer going to come back at him into the chicane? No, he isn't. Can they all get it slowed down for the first chicane? For the final chicane on the first lap? Yes, they can. But Ant Waddington leads the race. What an opening lap he's had once again, as he did in Russia. And now Anthony Bauer is right behind him. And he's got Dean Barry, putting him under pressure in 3rd place. The top 3 just breaking away a little bit. The 2 Red Bulls are sitting just behind that. Arthur Bowler is 6th. Ollie's not had a good start. He started 4th on the grid. He's dropped to 8th in the opening lap. He's not had a great start, but he is still running. Don't forget, he retired on lap 1 in Singapore. He's managed to go further than that this time. So lap 2 of the race. Don't forget, there is rain forecast for the middle part of this race. Dean Barry running very, very wide there and allowing Callum to close up. So that is the main fight. The top 2 right now are just stretching out a little bit of a gap. And I'm talking about half a second, not much at all. But it is very, very close. Patrick Orozco gets past his teammate. Let's see how he's getting on. There he is. He moves up into 15th place, and he's had a decent start as well from the back. And George Massey's got past his teammate. In fact, Matt Pielko's climbed a couple of places. Don't forget, he dropped to 14th on lap 1. And he's now back into 12th position. So top 10 very quickly. Ant Waddington just lead from Anthony Bauer. Dean Barry is 3rd. Callum is 4th. Dan Blackwell is 5th. Then we've got Arthur Bowler. Stephen Harrison in 7th for Ferrari. Ollie Cernan is 8th. Sam Congreve's had a decent start as well, up to 9th in the McLaren. And 10th is the Haas for Tom Cosme as they cross the line once again. And Anthony Bauer sets fastest lap of the race. The DRS has now been enabled as well. There's only one DRS zone here. But could this be a tactic of Mercedes here? Ant Waddington in the lead of the race. Can he hang on to it? And can he slow him, Anthony Bauer, sufficiently to let Dean Barry close up? Dean very, very close to the back there. In fact, ran very wide in one of the S's, but recovered it nicely. Definitely the top 3 seem to have a slight advantage, but Anthony Bauer getting very close to Ant Waddington. But it is very much single file traffic there through the first part of the lap. And just a little bit wide coming out of the second deck nut, giving Anthony Bauer a little bit of an opportunity, but not quite close enough. The Mercedes, with that soft tyres on, does seem to have a little bit better traction, as you'd expect with the soft tyres. So the top 3 now just stretching out a little bit more from the cars behind. Don't forget, we spoke to Callum last weekend, and he said his job is to help Dan score as many points as possible. So there surely be a swap. Look how close Anthony Bauer is. Ant Waddington feeling the need to go defensive, going down the middle of the track, not giving Anthony Bauer much space there. And now we finish lap 3. This will be the first time they can use their DRS. But Dean Barry's very close as well. This is going to be close coming down into turn 1. Does Ferrari have the straight line speed advantage? Had a little look. Not quite close enough. And you've got to say the 3 behind are hanging on very, very well. The 2 Red Bulls and Arthur Bowler's Racing Point. They're hanging on very nicely, but the top 3 are so close here. This is brilliant, brilliant stuff. Ooh. Dean Barry thought about trying to go around the outside of Anthony Bauer and had to back out of it at the last second. So that's given and a little bit of a lead out front of 0.8 of a second. Look how close Dean Barry is, trying to use those soft tyres to his advantage very quickly. But Anthony Bauer resisting at the moment. Callum Harrod getting very close now as well. Back there in 4th and 5th with Arthur Bowler watching on. In the 6th position. Stephen Harrison at the moment in 7th. Can't catch up to this lot. He's just over a second back in 7th place. Can't seem to quite have the pace at the moment. But don't forget, he is also on the medium tyres. So he will be suffering from a little bit of ultimate speed. You just saw him coming into the picture there. But look at this. The top 6 all together. This is great stuff. As they come through to complete that 4. Sam Congreve and Tom Cosme fighting over 9th place, and Tom's made that stick. But Sam is getting a good run here as they go down the pit straight. Tom Cosme's going defensive. Sam Congreve's going to go around the outside. That's going to be brave into turn 1. Can he sweep in? Yes, he can. Tom's still there. There's still no contact. Great racing between those 2, and what a move by Sam Congreve around the outside of turns 1 and 2. And great respect shown between those 2. They didn't connect at all. It'd been so easy for Tom to lock up there and just touch the rear wheel of the McLaren and send him spinning round. But excellent, excellent driving. You've got to say, it's been excellent driving by all 20 cars so far. There have been no incidents that I've seen whatsoever. Lap 5 of the race, and still it's the top 6, well, top 7 now. Because Stephen Harrison has caught up to the back of this pack. The top 7 still nose to tail. Dan Blackwell getting very close to the back of Callum. Callum had a bit of a mistake through the hairpin. CJ Allen's dropped back a couple of places. I think he ran wide as well. So that's allowed Patrick Orozco through, who now is giving Joe Newman a hard time. That's the battle for 13th position. Back at the front, still nothing separates this top 7. This is brilliant to watch. There is just a few tenths between them. And Anthony Bauer getting very close again to the back of Ant Waddington, but still can't quite do anything about it. CJ Allen is having a big fight. And look at this, Arthur Bowler's got past Dan Blackwell. Was there an error from Dan? Did Arthur just managed to slipstream him? That is a brilliant overtake once again. Arthur Bowler up to 5th. So he started 6th, stayed there, got past his teammate, and Callum Harris got past him. And now there's about a second gap between the top 3 and the chasing pack. Ollie Cernan's caught up to the back of this lot as well. He's running in 8th place, and you just see him popping into the back. There he is. He's up to the back of Stephen Harrison as well, as still Patrick and CJ fighting hard for 14th position in the race, and they're just giving Joe Newman a little bit of a breather now. I think Patrick's having some technical issues here. Seems to be glitching a little bit, but it's okay for now. And Waddington still leading the race on lap 6, but he's coming under increasing pressure from Anthony Bauer, with Dean Barry just behind them, as Stephen Harrison now gets past Dan Blackwell into the chicane. Can he hang on to it? Yes, he can. And Dan's run a little bit wide. Dan's starting to struggle with tyres here already, because he's fallen back a couple of places. Callum Harris sets fastest lap of the race, and now Ollie gets past Dan as well. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. Not quite sure what that was. I think it was Sam Congreve. He's dropped back a few places, as has Matt Pielko as well. He's dropped back a few places. Not sure if there was contact between the 2 alphas. Look how close George Massey was there to the back of Sam Congreve. That's for 10th place. There is great action up and down the field, and the top 6 or 7 are they're toing and throwing. 1 minute there's a second gap between the top 3 or 4, and there's something's happened in the first set. Joe Newman's out of the race. Joe Newman becomes our first retirement, and I think Matt Anderson is in there as well. Joe Newman becomes our first retirement, and yes, Matt Anderson, I think, also caught up. I'm not quite sure what's happened. I will try and find out. But Joe Newman retires from the race. So, well, he retired last time out, and he's retired again. And I think Matt Pielko's been involved with that as well, because he's got some front wing damage. So there does seem to have been a few incidents, but he becomes our first retirement. And yes, Joe Newman spun at the Dunlop curve and got collected by a couple of others. Now Dean Barry pits. He was running third he was running. He now pits, as does Dan Blackwell. So maybe those on the soft tyres are starting to struggle slightly, but a split strategy there. Dan Blackwell's gone for softs. Dean Barry's gone for a brand new set of hard tyres. So he'll be going deep into the race. And Waddington leads still by 0.3 of a second from Anthony Bauer. How long can Ant stay out there now? So Ant Waddington, now they've got a 2-second gap between second and third position. Arthur Bowler's up to third after the pit stops. Callum is fourth. So Arthur's got past Callum in there somewhere as well. I think Callum must have made a mistake somewhere. Stephen Harrison up to fifth and Ollie sixth. Matt Pielko's also pitted. He's gone on for a set of hard tyres as well as they come down to the chicane. Look how close that Ferrari is. Now is Ant going to pit as well here? We've seen his teammate pit. No, he's not. He's staying out. Could be good tactics here by Mercedes. Keep Ant out as long as possible. Because then he's already taken the best out of those tyres as it is. And now he could be really ruining Anthony Bauer's race by staying out there a little bit longer. Oh, he's run wide. He's made a mistake. And into the lead goes Anthony Bauer. And Waddington's made a mistake in the S's. And that was enough to let the Ferrari through. Don't be at all surprised to see Ant Waddington just dive into the pits this time if he can't get back past. Patrick Orozco's also pitted. Brand new set of softs for him. So, mistake by Ant Waddington has seen him relinquish the lead that he's held from lap 1. Anthony Bauer, I think, will be relieved to see the Mercedes behind him, but Ant hasn't given up on this yet. As Matt Anderson and Dan Blackwell back in the pits again. I don't know if there was more contact there down the back, because they've only just pitted. So I'm going to try and find out if there was more contact down at the back there. But a second pit stop for Dan Blackwell and Matt Anderson. And look at this, Ant Waddington hasn't given up on this yet as they come into the final chicane. Let's have a look, he's got DRS, fastest lap of the race for Anthony Bauer immediately, but Ant Waddington's coming back at him. And Ant Waddington is going back into the lead. This is brilliant stuff. Can he get it slowed down? Don't forget those soft tyres will be quite old by now as Stephen Harrison gets past Callum Harrod. Callum is fading on those softs. I don't know, maybe the tyres have gone. Just trying to see, there's no damage on the car. So I just think the soft tyres are starting to struggle. But Ant Waddington is still in the lead of the race. He's taking it back again. That's not what Anthony Bauer wants to see. He's looking for a way back past immediately. Behind them, we've got a battle between Stephen and Callum with Ollie just behind as well for 4th position. The other close battle out on track is Dean Barry's just ahead of Gareth Lambourne, who's got Patrick closing in as well. That's for 14th, 15th and 16th positions. So lap 10. Don't forget, we are expecting rain at some point in this race. That's going to completely throw things wide open. But Ant Waddington reclaims the lead brilliantly. Matt Anderson gets past Dan Blackwell. And look at this, Anthony Bauer having a look. But Ant's still hanging on. Ant's going to have to go defensive, you feel, into the chicane. And he does. Cuts off the route through. But this is a brilliant team job here Ant's doing. He's holding that Ferrari up. And Dean Barry on new tyres. He's got a little bit of free air now. He's got 7 seconds to the car in front of him. So this is not what Anthony Bauer wants to see whatsoever. And look at that, not far behind them and hanging on quite nicely is Arthur Bowling, the Racing Point, on a brand new set of softs as well. And Matt Pielko's retired from the race. That's down at 180R. Not sure what's happening. He's gone into the wall there. You just see him. Matt Pielko retires from the race. He becomes our second DNF of the day. And we have our first safety car. That area of track there where Matt's gone off, it's not very much runoff area there. So I can see why they've decided to bring out the safety car. Matt Pielko retires from the race. So now what are the leaders going to do? We're on lap 11. Patrick Horosco's pitted again. So he's going on to another set of soft tyres. Was there contact between Matt and Patrick possibly? Excuse me. So safety car is out. Are the leaders going to pit? At the moment, because of course you lose less time, everyone on track until they catch a safety car has to slow down by 40%. So you lose less time making a pit stop by doing that. Is anyone deciding to come in? No, Ant Waddington's carrying on. That's very interesting. Ant Waddington deciding to carry on. Callum Harrod, though, does pit. We've seen him falling backwards down the field. There he is. He does pit from what was 6. We've seen him drop a few places. Had a cracking start. Now, where is he going to come out? Because I think he might be ahead of... He will be ahead of Dean Barry here. Sam Congreve also pits. And let's see where Callum comes out. He comes out just behind the 2 Williams and just ahead of Scott Larvin. So the Williams now are up to 9th and 10th positions. Once again, the 2 Williams having a brilliant race. Dean Barry is up to 13th after the pit stop of Sam. The safety car wasn't good news for him because now he's totally out of position, because now with the field bunching up again behind the safety car, it will help him in terms of the fight for the leaders. But Callum Harrod in the pits immediately has come out ahead of him. So that was crucial there for Callum. And of course it does help those at the back of the field, like the 2 Renaults who have dropped quite a long way back after a couple of pit stops each, and Dan Blackwell. They will now be caught back up to the rest of the pack. But keep an eye out for this. We've seen it a few times. Safety cars quite often breed safety cars. We do, because it bunches the field up. You end up with all the cars together. It's so much easier to have an incident. So the order behind the safety car: Ant Waddington leads from Anthony Bauer. Arthur Bowler is 3rd. Stephen Harrison's up to 4th now. 2 Ferraris, don't forget, on the medium tyres. They started on those tyres. Ollie Cernan is 5th in the 2nd racing point. Tom Cosby's having a good race as well. He's up to 6th, as is George Massey. He's 7th for Alfa Romeo. CJ Allen, likewise, he started 13th on the grid. Kept out of trouble so far. He's up to 8th. The 2 Williams, Jack Giles and Ken Helgestad, they are 9th and 10th. And they started 16th and 17th on the grid, so they've really benefited from this. Callum Harrod is 11th but has stopped. Scott Larvin is 12th and has not. Dean Barry is 13th. He has stopped. We saw him pit a few laps ago. Sam Congreve is in 14th position. He has stopped as well. Gareth Lambourne has not stopped. He's 15th. The 2 Renaults have stopped twice. They're running in 16th and 17th position, and Dan Blackwell is in 18th position. Don't forget, I'm still looking at the comments on Twitch. Feel free to leave a comment if anyone's got any questions or anything like that. I will try and respond to most of them. So, Ryan, you were wrong, I'm afraid. You said on the Twitch chat you reckon safety car on lap 1. We managed to last to lap 11 without one. So, calm before the storm now. Safety car out. I think it will probably be coming in on this lap. The 2 Renaults. Oh, sorry, the safety car should be coming in on this lap. Trying to find out what happened to the 2 Renaults. They're 16th and 17th. But they both made a couple of stops. Also, don't forget as well, fastest lap outside the top 10 gets 2 extra points. At the moment, it's very early in the race. At the moment, that goes to Callum Harrod. He's in 11th place. And the safety car is coming in. Fastest lap of the race overall is Anthony Bauer on a 34.3, but expect that to drop very, very quickly. So there we can see Matt Anson's only stopped once. Patrick and Dan Blackwell have stopped twice. Let's see now. Here we go. Ant Waddington's judged that perfectly. He restarts the race, and he's got a brilliant restart. Maintains the lead brilliantly. Can't see any changes of position down the grid. Callum Harris getting past Ken Helgersson immediately. Ken doesn't really put up too much of a fight. He knows there's not much point. And Patrick's got past Gareth. They're the only two positions. Now Matt Anderson's got past Gareth. They're the only positions. I see Tom Cosby's made a mistake somewhere. He's dropped back to 10th position now in the race. So he's dropped a few places. That's moved CJ. Callum's up into 8. So Callum Harrod immediately dispatches the 2 Williams. So great restart for him. And Tom Cosby is dropping down the order. I think he's spun it. Is he out of the race? No, he does keep going, but he doesn't have damage. But Tom Cosby, after such a great start to the race, has spun up at Dunlop. Cold tyres is easy to do. And that drops into the back of the field, Scott Larvin. And Dean Barry's made a mistake somewhere as well. He's dropping down the order. Dean Barry has dropped about 4 places there. He was just behind the 2 Williams. And now he's down to 14th position behind Patrick. Look at Scott Larvin, he's running wide. He's let Sam and Patrick through. So it is all going off in the midfield. And Waddington's pulling out a 6/10 lead. Here goes Patrick trying to get down the inside of Sam Congreve, but he's making that stick into 130R. That would have been brave of Sam to hang it out around the outside. So Patrick Carrasco on the move. And Waddington showing he's got loads of life left in those tyres, with the fastest lap of the race so far. So brilliant restart for Anne Waddington as Dean Barry pits. So he's not liking those tyres. He does have a penalty. So, and I'm just having a look. Is that rain coming down? Yes, the rain is coming down. We did predict it at some point in the race. And here it is. So that's going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons here, with the rain starting to fall. And Waddington is certainly struggling. Don't forget, they'll be very warm, those soft tyres. They're not as durable as the mediums on the Ferrari, and I think that is why Anthony Bauer is now swarming all over the back of that Ferrari, of that Mercedes. Arthur Bowler's hanging on nicely in 3rd. Stephen Harrison doesn't seem to have the pace here today, does he? He's not exactly swarming over the back of the Racing Point in 3rd place. Ollie is 5th. George Massey's just got a penalty, but he's sitting in 6th place in the Alfa Romeo. He's having another good run here. So the rain coming down. Now Dean Barry's gone to a set of intermediates. That's a very early call. And I don't think he's going to have much grip to start with. But I will keep an eye on the gap to the car in front of him, and he is losing ground at the moment. So I may be a lap or two too early. And Patrick Carrasco has made a mistake somewhere as well. There are cars pitting. And yes, there's Patrick, spun it before the chicane. And George Massey's in there as well. Was there contact between those two? Patrick Carrasco's got involved in a couple of incidents here today, and he's lost more of his front wing end vents. There are cars pitting for intermediates. George Massey gets a penalty for speeding in the pits. A lot of cars pitting. And Waddington stays out. Anthony Bauer pits. And they do look as if they're really starting to lose grip. Virtual safety car. Dan Blackwell's dropped to the back as well. He's in the pits. So most of the cars have gone on to intermediates now. It's just the top 6 and Tom Cosby in 9th who are still on the slick tyres. Dean Barry, though, has not benefited at all. And he's still in last position. I think he went a lap too early, and virtual safety car, I thought Adam was going slowly there. Virtual safety car is out, and of course Dean will not be making up any ground, because again with the virtual safety car the pit stop takes about half the amount of time. So, well, can you believe it? This is incredible race now. So the virtual safety car has finished. What is going to happen next? And Waddington 4 seconds in the lead from Stephen Harrison. He's benefited quite a lot. But look, he's really struggling for grip, even in 130R. Surely he's going to have to pit. Anthony Bauer is 6th. And he has really struggling for grip in the final chicane. surely he's going to pit. All those on intermediates are going to be rubbing their hands with glee. Both Williams pitted as well. Then no, Giles stayed out. Jack Giles stayed out. He's fifth. So Jack Giles, even the Williams is up to fifth. Surely he'll be pitting. They're having to hold him, but Anthony Bauer, I think, is going to take the lead. Yes, he is. Anthony Bauer takes the lead of the race. Ant Waddington held up in the pit lane, but he lost time anyway. Arthur Bowler moves up to second. And CJ Allen up to third place in the Toro Rosso. He timed his pit stop to perfection. Ant Waddington's coming out in fourth place, just ahead of Callum Harrod. But he runs a little bit wider. Callum's taking the position and he's struggling to grip. And Callum Harrod moves up to fourth. So this has completely shuffled the pack now. Unbelievable. Scott Larvin and Tom Cosby now finally also pit as well. So now the race order, Anthony Bauer leads from Arthur Bowler by 4.5 seconds. CJ Allen must be just in a state of shock at the moment. In third place in the Toro Rosso. What a result this would be if he could hang on to that. And Waddington with some technical issues, he's falling down the grid, but Callum Harrod is fourth. Matt Anderson is up to fifth. He started 15th on the grid, again timed it perfectly. And look at Ken Helmerstad, he is sixth in the Williams. Well, this has completely shuffled the pack. Stephen Harrison is seventh, Ollie Cernan is eighth, Sam Congreve is ninth, and George Massey is 10th. Look at this, this is Stephen Harrison trying to get past Ken Helmerstad. There's a yellow flag in the second sector. Ken trying to hang on round the outside, but he can't. He drops back to 7th place, and now he's got Sam Congreve for company as well. Well, I don't think this rain's going to be down for too long, but it's worked perfectly for Anthony Bauer. He pitted just before the virtual safety car, got on the intermediate tyres, and Waddington didn't, and it's cost Ant dearly. And now with his technical issues, he's dropped right back to 12th in the race now. Dan Blackwell now gets past him as well. Ollie pits, so Ollie Cernan pits. I'm not sure if there's front wing damage to the Racing Point. There's the only reason I can think that he'll be pitting again. Yes, there is a bit of front wing damage there. So new front wing for Ollie Cernan. Dean Barry's only recovered up to 15. It has completely shuffled the pack, this. Sam Congreve now has got past Ken Helmerstad. So has George Massey. But definitely driver the race so far for me is Matt Anderson up there in 5th place in the Renault. We heard from his manager earlier that he does tend to keep out of trouble. And Patrick said the same thing as well. Tends to bring the car home in the points, in good points as well. And he's doing it again. He's 5th. Again, just timed his pit stop to perfection. And you've got to say as well, CJ Allen is running in 3rd place, and he's pulling away from the Red Bull of Callum Harrod behind him. What a drive so far from CJ Allen. He's 3.5 seconds behind Arthur Bowler, but he's 5.5 seconds clear of Callum Harrod. So that Toro Rosso, don't forget, slightly less power with the Honda engine, but it just seems to be perfectly suiting these conditions. Callum Harrod's got the same engine, of course, in the back of the Red Bull, but just doesn't seem to be able to make it work as well at the moment. Lap 19, we're edging towards half distance. So much has gone on already. There's a close battle on track. Here we go. Sam Congreve in 7th with George Massey's Alfa Romeo not far behind him. Another good battle going on behind that. Is there we see it, and just get it in time. Jack Giles loses the place to Dan Blackwell on his fight back through the field. Patrick Roscoe in the pits as well, as he got front wing damage. He has been involved in a few instances today. It's not been the cleanest race. He's got a 5-second penalty as well. That's why they're not doing anything, and they are changing the front wing on that Renault. So he must have had damage, contact possibly with Ollie Cernan, which is why Ollie pitted as well. It is action everywhere here, but Anthony Bauer, well, he wasn't my prediction for the race victory, and at the moment he's making my prophecy come true. He's 6.5 seconds in the lead from this man, Arthur Bowler. Also timed his pit stop very well to climb up through the order. I can't get over the pace of CJ Allen. He is still pulling away from the Red Bull of Callum Harrod, out to 5.7 seconds now. And having a brilliant drive. Starting 13th on the grid, he's taken 10 places. This is a reserve driver as well. Gregor Telford not able to race this weekend. His place has been taken by CJ. He's doing very well in the Formula 2 Championship, if I read the table right. And this could be a real stake of a claim for a seat in F1 next season. With this performance up to third and lapping quicker than the Red Bulls at the moment. This is the other close battle on track. Matt Anderson in 5th position with the Ferrari of Stephen Harrison all over the back of him. I don't think Matt's going to make it easy, but I don't think he'll push too hard. Matt is another one who tends to bring the car home in one piece. It's getting very wet out there. You can see a bit of a racing line now though, which is going to help those intermediates enormously. Here we see Kayla Helberstad, he's 9th. Oh, he's just run wide. He's just run, I should say, he's just holding up down Blackwell, but he's just made a slight mistake in the Dunlop curve. Did well to rescue that up there, I've got to say. But Ken Helberstad's still running in the top 10, and he's now ahead of his teammate by 3 seconds as well. So another strong drive. I said look out for the Williams in the rain, and that's also being proved absolutely true at the moment. Dean Barry has recovered to 12th at the moment. He's just got past Tom Cosme, and Waddington's still down in 14th position. He's got the other Toro Rosso of Scott Larvin slapping at his heels. So that Toro Rosso does seem to be working very, very well in these conditions. CJ Allen now 6 seconds clear of Callum. Still pulling away by a 10th or 2 a lap. So what a performance by both Toro Rosso drivers here. But Anthony Bauer is now 8 seconds in the lead. We saw in Germany, which was a very wet race, he's very composed in these conditions. He's very, very good in the rain. And Stephen Harrison does now get past Matt Anderson to move into 5th position. DRS is disabled now in the wet conditions, of course. So there is no DRS, so the straight line speed would have helped that Ferrari enormously. We know it's got a lot more power than the Renault. And well, we've seen so many wet races here over the years. We had a tragic wet race back in 2014 with the race of Jules Bianchi. Crashed and received the injuries that ultimately led to his death. But the race itself was a very good race in the rain. But it is one of these tracks. It's so narrow. You can see that it's not as wide, even as wide as Russia last weekend. And you've got grass and gravel and walls not far away from the racetrack. It really does test the drivers and the cars around here. So let's try and find you another close battle on track. Here we see Dean Barry in 12th position. He's catching Jack Giles, but he's got to keep an eye on his mirrors, because not far behind is Tom Cosme. That Mercedes doesn't seem to be functioning very well here, and Waddington is in 14th and not really catching, maybe just edging up to the back of Tom Cosme, but still 6 seconds down the road. So the Mercedes doesn't look as if it's behaving very well. Early race lead out. Oh, Dean has a big slide there. Dean Barry has a big slide going through Spoon, and that's put Tom Cosme right on his gearbox. Does the Haas, well, he's got the Ferrari engine, it should have fairly decent straight line speed as they come down to the final chicane one more time. And he does stay ahead, and now they're starting to put Jack Giles under pressure as well. Jack in 11th place. He's 2.5 seconds behind his teammate. He goes defensive, so he's not going to make it easy. It's going to have to be a brave move in the wet around the outside, but he got it done before the corner. So well done, Dean. He makes the stick. He's up into 11th place. Don't forget, he started on the front row of the grid. But he's been caught out a couple of times with the safety car and then with the rain, pitted maybe a lap early for the rain. And just in front there is the other Williams of Ken Helberstad. He is again in the top 10. Zil driving nicely, but you've got to say Anthony Bauer out front by 10.5 seconds. Arthur Bowler 5.5 seconds clear of CJ Allen, with Callum Harrod just starting to close that gap down slightly in 4th place. Stephen Harrison is 3.5 seconds further back in 5th. Matt Anderson is 3 seconds behind that in 6th, and just about keeping Sam Congreve honest as Dean Barry gets past Ken Helberstad. So that's a move for 10th place. Penalty for Patrick. He's pushing very, very hard. Is Patrick. He's about 3 seconds behind Ollie at the back of the field, and who is another 2 seconds behind Gareth Lambourne, who is in 16th position. So, and again, Gareth keeping himself out of trouble. Anthony Bauer's just lost a second of his lead there. I don't know if he's made an error somewhere, maybe in turn 1 possibly. But Anthony Bauer's just lost about a second of his lead, as Tom Cosme's just got past Jack Giles for 12th position. Look at how much rain is coming down here. Will the intermediates be able to cope with this, or will they be starting to think about the wet tyres? The intermediates should be good for about half the race distance, in my experience anyway, on them. About 26, 27 laps, maybe 30. So I think they are going to have, if it stays wet to the end of the race, it is a forecast to clear up for the end of the race. But if it does stay wet till the end of the race, you'll probably see them coming in again. On lap 23, there is Arthur Bowler in 2nd position. Well, I said Racing Point were desperate for some points. The 2nd place will do very, very nicely. And he is just under 10 seconds off the lead, and he's nearly 7 clear of CJ Allen, who's still 6 seconds clear of Callum. Try as Callum might, he cannot close that gap down significantly. CJ Allen driving an absolutely superb race here, but Callum is soon going to have, very soon, going to have Stephen Harrison for company for 4th place. Dan Blackwell, meanwhile, is in 9th place. And Gareth Lambourne's out of the race. Gareth Lambourne, I think, has spun it up at Dunlop, and we can have another virtual safety car. Gareth Lambourne spins out of the race. Just as I was saying about how often he finishes, he does retire. It does look as if the conditions are getting worse. I did notice Patrick had just sneaked past Gareth. Maybe it just pushed Gareth offline into a little bit of water. But Gareth Lambourne retires from the race on lap 24, and we're under a virtual safety car. So this is our 2nd virtual safety car of the day. And yes, apparently Patrick did hit Gareth Lambourne. So that is what's caused Gareth's retirement. So Patrick's not had the greatest of races. I hate to say it, but he's not. He's had a spin. He's had a couple of pit stops for front wings, and now he's hit Gareth and forced Gareth out of the race. The virtual safety car has ended meanwhile, and Arthur Bowler's dropped back a 2nd from the virtual safety car. But CJ Allen has pulled away by a 2.5 seconds from Callum. He's 7.5 seconds clear in 3rd place. It is looking very good for CJ, but we've seen cars flying off left, right and centre. You never know what's going to happen next, but at the moment he is in 3rd place. 3 retirements. Joe Newman crashed on lap 1. Matt Pielko crashed as well. So it wasn't that one for Joe Newman, it was a couple of laps in. Matt Pielko, he crashed out at 180R after a few laps. And then Gareth Lambourne, we've just seen go out of the race. Apparently we've got 10 more minutes before it's going to start drying up. So then we're going to see a different problem. You don't want to pick too early to go on the slicks, but at the same point you don't want to leave it too late because those intermediates will burn out. It's 10 minutes apparently until the track starts to dry out. Thank you very much to Mr. JBL for telling me that information. Sam Congreve is up to 6th in the McLaren, so you've got to say the Renaults seem to struggle in qualifying, but they are really doing so much better in the race. I think the rain is really helping them. In the rain, the power disadvantage of the Renaults and to a certain extent the Hondas won't be as apparent. It's all about the drivability of the engine and being able to get the power down as well. So it's all about having good traction, and sometimes having a little less power helps the traction and not so much power going to the rear wheels, of course. But Anthony Bauer now leads by 11.5 seconds from Arthur Bowler. CJ Allen now 8 seconds clear of Callum in 3rd place. I think he must be just in dream world at the moment, up in 3rd. A penalty for Ken Helmersham. We've also seen a penalty for Jack Giles as well. They're still running line astern in 12th and 13th position, with Ant Whittington just starting to close up on them slightly now. But here is CJ Allen. Close battle out on track. Here is one of them. It's Sam Congreve with Matt Anderson right behind him. Matt's dropped back to 7th since the safety car. There's also the 2 Williams. Ken Helmersham just seems to be struggling a little bit. We've seen a couple of times on the stream here. He's just had a little bit of understeer in certain corners, and now he's got his teammate right behind him. 2 Williams very evenly matched and both driving well. And 3 seconds down the road is Ant Waddington there. There he is, in fact, homing in on the 2 Williams. And there is Scott Larvin just behind that. So penalty for Sam now as well, as Jack Giles does get past Ken. Don't know if that was a team switch. You don't normally overtake in the S's. So it might have been a tactical switch there. So Anthony Bauer, once again, wet conditions as we saw in Germany. And he is driving superbly. 12-second lead now, as now this is a close battle out on the track. Callum Harrod with Stephen Harrison for company. This is for 4th place. Callum, I think, would have expected to be looking at the back of the Toro Rosso. Instead, he's looking in his mirrors at the Ferrari homing in on him. So, and as well as it stands, Ferrari looking very good to seal the Constructors' Championship here today, with 1st and 5th more than enough to see them crowned Constructors' Champions, especially with the highest Mercedes being down in 10th position. So, but this is also good for the neutral perspective in terms of the World Championship, because 14 points covered the 2 Ferrari drivers at the top of the World Championship. Well, at the moment, as things stand, Anthony Bauer has got pole position and the win, which is 26 points. Stephen Harrison in 5th is on for 16. It's going to cut 10 points. And thank you very much for the question, Gregor, on American geography. I'm afraid I'm not an English teacher, so I have absolutely no idea about your answers to the question. And when I say questions, I mean questions about the race or Formula 1 in general. Just for any more troublemakers like Gregor out there. Who knew it would be the admins that were causing trouble? Anyway, Anthony Bauer leads still by just over 12 seconds now. And he's still gently pulling away in the lead. This is the closest battle on track. Between Callum Harrod and Stephen Harrison, 4th and 5th. And Stephen's had a great run out the final corner. Is Callum going to go defensive? No, he isn't. Stephen Harrison there onto the slightly wetter piece of track, but he makes it stick and into 4th place. So Callum didn't defend that as much as I was expecting there. But are they playing the long game? The rain is definitely easing now. We heard from JBL before that about 10 minutes before the rain dries, it does tend to dry quite quickly, this racetrack. So it shouldn't be too long. We're just over the halfway mark of the race. We're on lap 28 now of 53. So it won't be too long before the rain stops. I'm just going to have a quick on board with Callum. The rain is still coming down, but it's nowhere near as heavy as it was at one point. As George Massey now at the hairpin, that's a brave move, but he gets past Matt Anderson to move into 7th place. Matt trying to come back at him around the outside, but I don't think he will make that mistake. And just behind them is Dan Blackwell. So now Matt Anderson's got a job on his hands to keep the Red Bull behind him. The Red Bull does seem to have a little bit more grip than the Renault here. The Renaults do seem to be struggling at this racetrack, certainly compared to how they have been the last few races. But Matt Anderson's still up there in 8th position. His teammate is 16th with Scott Larvin just in front of him. As I come down to the final chicane one more time. CJ Allen, meanwhile, by the way, is now 9 seconds clear of Stephen Harrison now in 4th place, as Patrick Roscoe does get past. No, he doesn't. Scott Larvin's come back at him, and Dan Blackwell gets past Matt Anderson. So Dan Blackwell moves up into 8th place, and Matt Anderson is falling backwards through the field a little bit. But he is still in the top 10, and he's 3.5 seconds. There is the Mercedes in the background of Dean Barry. You've got to say those Mercedes are not handling as well in these conditions. And Waddington's still down in 14th. Still hasn't got past the 2 Williams, who are just ahead of him. So the Mercedes do look like they're struggling in these conditions. So now can Stephen Harrison start to close up on CJ Allen for 3rd place? This is helping him. Every point will help in the constructors and mainly the drivers' world championship. Constructors is all but sealed now. And it will be if they finish where they are. And Waddington does get past Ken Helverstad now. That's for 13th place. So Ad's starting to come back through the field. He's now got 3 seconds to close to the other Williams of Jack Giles. But still, both Williams running well. So, unfortunately, Gareth politely declined my offer of an interview, which is fair enough. I know some of the drivers do get very annoyed after, especially if they're forced out of the race by someone else. But Arthur Bowler's just maintaining the gap now. He has responded to that pace by Anthony Bauer, and the gap is still at just over 12 seconds. Stephen Harrison is starting to close up on CJ now in the battle for 3rd. And he is dropping Callum as well. Callum now only 3 seconds behind him. This is another good battle on track. This is George Massey in 7th place with Dan Blackwell right behind him. Dan on a fight back through the field. He had to pit early on for a front wing. And I think he got caught out with the safety car and switched to intermediates as well. But it's definitely brightening up now, isn't it? It's definitely brightening up. The rain is still falling, but nowhere near as heavy as it was. So I don't think it'll be too long before they will be starting to think about slick tyres, especially once the rain stops. So, but this is the closest battle on track right now, apart from the battle for 16th between Scott Larvin and Ollie Cernan. Ollie's started 4th on the grid. And hello to Nikki, who's watching the stream live as well. Callum's wife. good to see you watching here today. I'm glad you're enjoying the race, and I hope you're enjoying the commentary and the stream as well. And look at this, Dan trying to get up the inside. He thought better of it just at the last second. Pulled out of that one. So George Massey for now is hanging on. Oh, and there's another yellow flag and a safety car. Ollie is out of the race. Ollie Cernan and Scott Larvin, they've made contact somewhere and they are out of the race. Unbelievable, and it's down at 180R. If they were trying to go wheel to wheel through there, that was always going to happen. There you can see the two cars in the wall. So Ollie Cernan and Scott Larvin both retire from the race. They become our 4th and 5th retirements, and Waddington decides to pit. We've got a full safety car. The rain has now stopped from what I can see. Are they going to take a risk with some slicks? Yes, and Waddington is. Ken Helmerstad's in as well, so is Patrick Orozco. Are these guys going to take a risk for slick tyres? And is Patrick in? What about Ken? Yes, he's gone for a set of softs. That's what it's saying on the graphic. Yes, it is a set of soft tyres. So the safety car will be out for a few laps. The rain has stopped. As I said, the track does dry very quickly around here. And Anthony Bauer pits. In a lot of ways, this is bad news for CJ Allen, isn't it? Because he was running so well in 3rd place, and now the gap is going to be obliterated to nothing. And words of encouragement from Callum's sister, telling him to pull his finger out. Still can't be drunk. Who knows? Anything's possible. But anyway, yes, most of the leaders, in fact, it looks like everyone is now pitting. So they're all going for the slicks. So it'll be a bit of a handful, but they are behind the safety car. So as long as no one crashes behind the safety car, they should be okay. They are reclaiming their positions. They're all keeping their positions. Doesn't look like anyone's lost anything in the pits. In fact, Dan Blackwell's got ahead of George Massey in the pit lane as I say that. So good news from Dan. He was being held up by George. He's now up into 7th place. So race order now behind the safety car is Anthony Bauer leads the race from Arthur Bowler, our 2nd safety car of the day. Scott Larvin is not happy. Unlucky Scott. But Anthony Bauer leads from Arthur Bowler. They're going to be all bunched up again. And this is going to be even more interesting, because if he's not completely ready for slicks, and when the safety car comes in, they're going to be struggling all over the place. Arthur Bowler is 2nd. CJ Allen is still 3rd for Toro Rosso. Stephen Harrison is 4th in the 2nd Ferrari. Callum Harrod 5th in the 1st of the Red Bull. Sam Congreve having another good drive, up in 6th in the McLaren. 7th for Dan Blackwell. George Massey is 8th in the Alfa Romeo, the only Alfa Romeo left in the race. 9th is Tom Cosme in the Sol Haas, left in the race. Dean Barry has recovered to 10th. I think both Mercedes will be so pleased to see the fact that he's dry now, because they were both really struggling in the wet conditions. 11th for Matt Anderson in the Renault. Jack Giles is 12th. Patrick Orozco 13th in the 2nd Renault. Ken Helmerstad is 14th in the 2nd Williams, and Ant Waddington is the last of the runners at the moment. They're very spread out the field. I'm not quite sure. It depends how long the safety car's out for. Oh, as Anthony Bauer goes off there on the slicks. so they are struggling, but obviously at these lower speeds, it was the only thing to do really was to pit. Because no less than a lap or two after the safety car pits, we think the track will be ready for slick tyres. It will just be a very interesting first couple of laps when the safety car pits. And Sam Bam on Twitch, I hope there's also a bottle in it for the commentator as well. I think that's only Bauer. Oh, and again, Anthony Bauer nearly loses it behind the safety car. We have seen it before with cars crashing out under the safety car conditions. I think Alex Wurz did it years ago when he was driving for Benetton at Belgium. I think it was, he crashed under the safety car. As Callum Harrod does get a penalty, again quite impressive behind the safety car, but I think Anthony Bauer just testing the limits of the car and the tyres, and he nearly got caught out by it. So the top six have caught up to the safety car now. There's a little bit of a gap. The next 5 cars should catch relatively quickly. There's quite a gap between Matt Anderson and Jack Giles, but the safety car is staying out for another lap. And Waddington in last place is just coming up towards the spoon curve. He might just catch the back of the field. Patrick has overtaken Jack Giles here under the safety car. Now surely he's going to have to give that position back. Not quite sure what's happened there, but Patrick has definitely overtaken Jack. Unless Jack went off the track. That's also possible. If he went off the track, they would allow Patrick through. So we're on lap 34. There's 19 laps to go after this one. I think the safety car will probably come in on this lap. The top 11 have now caught up to the safety car. We're just waiting for Patrick Horosco in the Renault, Jack Giles Williams, Ken Helberstad's Williams, and Ant Waddington's Mercedes to catch up. They're not too far away, but I don't... It's going to be close. If the safety car does come in this lap, it will be very close whether not those 4 catch up to the back of the pack. But you never know. Don't forget as well, for anyone listening on the stream, there is going to be a fans vote. I will open that at about lap 49 or so for the driver of the day. So I will have my own choice, and I will also announce the fans votes driver of the day, fans choice. So safety car in on this laps. Anthony Bauer slowing the pack up. The bottom 4 haven't quite caught up to the back of the pack, so they are going to lose out a little bit. But when is Anthony Bauer? And watch the conditions now. It is wet out there. Still, especially offline, is everyone going to be able to get through these first couple of corners? Where do you brake? That's the unknown quantity down into turn 1. As they come through, everyone's surviving so far. Anthony Bauer a little bit wide, but he'll get away with that. But it does look as if the track's okay for slicks right now. Anthony Bauer leads away. Arthur Bowler's got CJ Allen all over the back of him, and who in turn has got Stephen Harrison now all over the back of him. This is a close battle for third place. CJ's held on to that for so long. They are tiptoeing through the S's. They are really struggling for grip. But you can guarantee that within a lap or two, it will be the right conditions. They haven't enabled DRS yet, of course. We've just come out from under the safety car. But Anthony Bauer is just stretching away slightly. He's got just over a second lead. CJ Allen's looking menacing behind Arthur Bowler. He's right. Oh, and Arthur Bowler hits the grass. He's almost contact down into the hairpin. Can CJ Allen get through? He's going to have him. He's on the rain, on the wet line, and yes, he half spins. That was inevitable. He had to go somewhere because Arthur Bowler held him up, and that was inevitable. Now he's lost at least one position, and I think Callum Harrod's going through as well, and so is Sam Connery. So mistake from CJ Allen. Initial mistake by Arthur Bowler. For CJ Allen onto the wet part of the racetrack, and he just had no grip on those slick tyres. And CJ Allen loses 3 places as a result. He's down into 6th position. He's now got Dan Blackwell right behind him as well. Can CJ come back at the McLaren down this back straight? The problem they're all going to have right now is it's still slightly damp offline. So if you do try and move, you're going to have to go onto the wet part of the racetrack and have no grip down there. CJ having a look down the inside. There is a little bit of contact. He loses his front wing end vent. That's what I was talking about. Offline on the wet piece of track. He just got no grip. As CJ's found that to his cost, he's lost a bit of his front wing end vents there now. But he's still there in 6th position. Meanwhile, Arthur Bowler's got Anthony Bauer, has got nearly a 5-second lead out front. He's had a blistering first lap as Tom Cosme gets past Dan Blackwell, moves up into 7th place. It's very, very close. This is the battle. Callum Harrod with a train behind him. Can he hang on to the pressure? Judging on past experience, I would think he can. But there is quite a queue forming. Callum just breaking away slightly now. Now Sam Congreve with the queue right behind him. You've got CJ Allen in there. Who else is in there? Tom Cosme, Dan Blackwell. George Massey's not far back behind that either. Or Dean Barry and Patrick Orozco. They're all in this fight for 5th position. Callum's just breaking away a little bit. Oh, and Stephen Harrison's off. Stephen Harrison's off at the second Lesmo. He too has succumbed to that wet piece of track somewhere. So he now drops back. And there's CJ in the wall. CJ Allen has spun. He's going to have to be very careful from there. CJ Allen down into the hairpin. I think again got caught out with the rain. And he drops to the back of the field. He's going to have to stop now. It is all going off here. Stephen Harrison trying to stay ahead of Patrick Orozco. He's run wide. And this is the problem with these slicks. You go offline, you lose tyre temperature, and he just keeps falling away. And Stephen Harrison now has dropped to 10th position. So Sam Congreve up into 4th. Tom Cosme up into 5th. In the Haas, they are all struggling with these conditions. Maybe the Inters would have been okay for a little while. I think anyone who stayed on Inters would be absolutely flying right now. But Stephen Harrison has dropped back to 10th position. And this is crucial for the World Championship, of course, because 14 points, don't forget, cover the top 2 in the World Championship. Anthony Bauer at the moment, let's have a see who's got fastest lap. He hasn't quite got fastest lap yet, so at the moment Anthony Bauer on 26 for 10th place. Stephen Harrison on for 11. So if things stay as they are, and I don't for 1 second think they will, but as things stand, Anthony Bauer will take the lead in the World Championship by 1 point. It is absolutely brilliant. His lead, by the way, out front is up to 8 seconds. He's finding the grip and the confidence. Arthur Bowler, a second and a half clear of Callum Harrod there in 3rd place. And well, with the queue that was forming up behind Sam, it was inevitable there was going to be some incidents somewhere. Now we've got just 3 cars in this queue. Sam Congreve, there he is in 4th place in the McLaren. Right behind him is Tom Cosme. Sam's got a little bit of front wing damage there. He's got a bit of front wing end vent damage as well on the right hand side there. He is running 5th. Dan Blackwell now is lining up the Haas. Does he have the straight line speed? No, he doesn't. Doesn't want to venture offline yet. As they come down into the final chicane, Dan Blackwell's going for it up the inside. And he's making it stick. Tom thinks better of it and backs out of it. So good driving by those two. They gave each other space. The DRS is enabled, so the track is definitely improving. But Dan Blackwell up into 5th position as Dean Barry gets past George Massey for 7th position. And Patrick Orozco has Stephen Harrison for company in the fight for 9th. So these two really fight hard. Look at them, they're all line astern through the S's. Stephen Harrison trying to go around the outside. That's a brave move, and he's made it stick. Come back at him. A little bit of wheel banging, but he just makes it stick. That was a bold move and brilliantly executed there from Stephen Harrison to take 9th position away from the Renault. He lost it earlier on, of course, when he ran out. Patrick runs a little bit wide. Coming through the second leg now. He's got his teammate for company now right behind him. And look at the two Williams hanging on nicely. Jack Giles there in 12th position is hanging on brilliantly. So lap 38, Anthony Bowley's by 9.5 seconds now from Arthur Boland. But Arthur's pulling away from Callum. So Callum is looking comfortably in 3rd position, but Arthur Boland is edging away in 2nd position. As Dean Barry now gets past Dan Blackwell, that's for 6th position. Oh, and Dan pits. Dan Blackwell's in the pits. I think he's got some front wing damage. And yes, they are. They're changing the front wing on Dan Blackwell's Red Bull. So he's going to drop a long way back. And it's that CJ Allen spinning. I was just trying to see where he was on the track. CJ Allen really struggling. He drove so well in the damp conditions, and now he's really struggling. Probably pushing a little bit too hard, maybe. But out front, Anthony Bauer is driving superbly. He needs this win to keep the momentum going that he's built up in the last few races in the World Championship, and that's exactly what he's doing. There's Arthur Bowler driving very, very well as well in 2nd position. Callum Harrod, there he is in 3rd. Then there's a bit of a gap, and we've still got this queue. And it's getting bigger once again. This goes all the way back to Jack Giles in 11th position. There's only about a second between each one. So Sam Congreve now under pressure for 4th place. He finished 5th last time out at Russia. Again, a rain-affected race. And look at this, Dean Barry and Tom Cosby. They're going to go wheel to wheel into 130R. Dean Barry thought better of that in the end. Just behind them, George Massey's got Stephen Harrison putting him under pressure. Then we've got the two Renaults. But somehow they all make it through unscathed. This is brilliant racing. There's been some really good wheel-to-wheel fights up and down the field here today. Bit of damage on Tom Cosby's Haas on the front wing, and the left side of the end fence is missing, you can see there. So he's been in the wall somewhere. So he's doing very well, because that will be affecting the front downforce. But he's still hanging on to 5th position. Dan Blackwell, after his stop, comes out in 14th position on a brand new set of soft tyres. They should go to the end, no problem. But this lot, and Waddington gets past Ken Helmertown. That's the 12th place. Anthony Bauer is now 11 seconds in the lead. Out front, he's calmly pulling away. Really has found some grit from somewhere in those treacherous conditions, and now sets fastest lap operator 1:31.024. They're not far away from the lap record. Look at this, Dean Barry trying to go up the inside of 130R. That's great, but he's made it stick. So Dean Barry moves up into 5th place, and now he's going to be attacking Sam Congreve. Dean Barry with a bold move up the inside. He eyed that one up on the previous lap. This lap he made it stick. Sam moving defensive. Try and break the DRS. We've got people cheering on. George Massey in 7th place. He's having a good race. He's got Stephen Harris. He's kept Stephen behind him though, to his credit, for quite a few laps. As Anthony Bowers still putting away by over a second a lap. Look at this, Dean Barry up the inside. I don't think he's going to make that one stick. He had to take to the grass. But this is absolute brilliant racing here between these 5 cars. And look at Stephen Harrison really pressuring George Massey, trying to go around the outside. George hanging on up the inside. Well done, that was great defensive work there. George Massey saw that one coming, stuck up the inside. Patrick trying to close up on this as well. He's dragging his teammate with him as well. So we've got a 7-car battle for 4th place. Sam Congreve is really coming under pressure. Can Dean Barry, you would think with that extra power in the Mercedes. And here we go. He's going to go around the outside. Sam Congreve, and Sam Congreve's hit him. And Sam Congreve has spun, and he's out of the race. He's in the wall. And Matt Anderson's out as well. Matt Anderson's gone too. I think there might be contact between the 2 Renaults. We've got another 2 retirements. Sam Cosme pits. We've got another safety car. I think the 2 Renaults made contact. Patrick Orozco's allowed to pit for another front wing. Sam Congreve was driving so well up in 4th place, and he has spun out of the race. So, more and more action. Yet another safety car. Anthony Bauer will be gutted. He had a 15-second lead out front, and it was pulling away comfortably. And now we've got our 3rd full safety car of the day. Dean Barry's up to 4th. George Massey's up to 5th. 6th is Stephen Harrison. Jack Giles looks like he's got some technical issues, but he's running in 7th place. Once again, the Williams having a stunning drive, and Waddington is 8th in the Mercedes. 9th for Ken Helberstad. Both Williams in the top 10. Tom Cosme, after his stop, comes out in 10th, just ahead of Dan Blackwell. Patrick Orozco's pitted as well. He's 12th. And into the pits comes Anthony Bauer. Now, will Arthur Bowler also pit? Because this could see him potentially take the lead. Depends how quickly the Ferrari can get the stop done. It's going to be close. Will this be enough time? No, Arthur's also in the pit. So Arthur Bowler pits. Callum Harrod has carried on, but he doesn't quite take the lead. And no, he does. Callum Harrod takes the lead. I thought it was not quite going to happen, but Callum Harrod takes the lead of the race. He's been in the thick of the action for most of the race, and now he finds himself out front. Arthur Bowler's dropped to 8th position after that stop. Well, what is going to happen next in this race? The next question is, how long can those soft tyres last? He's already done 15 laps. We're going to have at least 3 laps behind the safety car, I would guesstimate, or maybe another couple. He's going to have to go a very long way on those soft tyres, and you would think that Anthony Bauer with brand new tyres on will have such an advantage. Dean Barry stayed out as well. He's in 3rd position. So let's just run through the order behind the safety car now. All the stops have been made. I'm going to try and find the cars as we go. There is Callum Harrod. He is the leader of the race. Anthony Bauer is 2nd in the Ferrari. 3rd is Dean Barry in the Mercedes. There he is. George Massey is having a very good race indeed, in 4th position in the Alfa Romeo. He also has opted to stay out. So will he be able to make his tyres last to the end? Stephen Harrison is 5th. He also stayed out. Jack Giles is up to 6th position now in the Williams. What a drive he's having as well. There's some discussion on Twitch as maybe Callum could be trying to back the pack up for Dan Blackwell. That's certainly a possibility, but just run through the rest of the order. And Waddington is 7th in the Mercedes. He's also stayed out. Arthur Bowler pitted. He's come out in 8th position. It's not quite worked as well for him. He's got a lot of traffic, but we saw at Singapore he came through a lot of cars very, very quickly at the end of the race. That was after a spin after the safety car, but he did come through the pack very, very quickly. There is Ken Helberstad in 9th position. 10th is Tom Crosby. There he is in the hat. He's been up there or thereabouts all day. Dan Blackwell has been up and down the order like a yo-yo, but he's currently in 11th position. Patrick Orozco has had a very, very instant-packed day. I think the stewards will be looking into him a lot. And he is sitting in 12th position. CJ Allen will be pleased, because after his adventures and spins and losing his front wing, he's going to be able to close the pack right up. He is in 13th position. He's the last of the runners. So 7 retirements. Matt Anderson and Sam Congreve we've just seen spin out. I think there was contact between the two Renaults down at 130R. Ollie Cernan retired earlier on as well in the wet conditions. Scott Larvin as well. I think there was contact with Ollie there as they were fighting near the back of the field. Gareth Lambourne, we heard, had contact with Patrick as Patrick was coming back through the field, so he's out of the race as well. Matt Pielko spun out in the Alfa Romeo, and Joe Newman as well spun out early on in the race too. So we're down to 13 runners. We're on lap 44. Is there going to be another lap behind the safety car, or will it pin? It's usually quite a late call. And there we see it on screen. The safety car is coming in on this lap. Callum Harrod is going to have the fight of his life right now. Stay in the lead. Anthony Bauer pitted and has got brand new soft tyres on. How well is he going to do? He's had a good restart though. He's timed that very well. Callum Harrod retains the lead. Is there any changes of position behind? Callum maintains the lead, and they are all getting away quite well. And no one's gone for it. George Massey slightly wide in turn 2, but he'll get that back in nicely. So now this is going to be our main source of attention, I think, for the remaining 8 laps. Callum Harrod, how well he generally, traditionally, is very, very good at looking after his tyres. We've seen it on several occasions in several races, especially in his first year in the league, where he won the championship, of course, with Mercedes. He was very, very easy on his tyres. So can he do it again? We got a prediction of possibly George Massey on the podium, and he's sitting in 4th place at the moment. So it's perfectly possible. You never know. We've seen so much instance in this race so far. You never know what's going to happen next. And Waddington's got past Jack Giles to move into 6th position. Now Arthur Bowler does as well. I said look out for Arthur. He's on brand new tyres. Look at the slipstream here. Anthony Bowers getting up into 130R. Is he going to be brave enough into 130R? You get the feeling Callum's going to have to go defensive down into the chicane. And look at Dean just behind. He's having a little slip as well. He's doing well because he's on fairly old medium tyres. He's on a slightly hard compound. But Callum Harrod goes very defensive down the pit straight. There's no DRS for this lap. We'll be enabled this next time around. And Anthony Bowers having a look up the inside. Can he make it stick into the first couple of corners? Yes, he can. Callum, of course, a little bit wide. He's trying to do the cutback. They're wheel to wheel into the S's, but I think Anthony Bowers is going to have it, and he does indeed. Anthony Bowers brilliantly takes the lead. That was a very brave overtake. Callum Harrod now has got a fight in his hands to stay in 2nd place. Because look at the queue of cars there behind him. So Anthony Bowers retains the lead. And now can he pull away? We saw how quickly he was pulling away earlier in the slightly damp conditions. The track was very dry now. And Dean Barry's having a little look at Callum, trying to just distract him. George Massey getting very, very close behind as well in 4th place. Stephen Harrison's in there as well. Look at that, Ant Waddington's there, and so is Arthur Bowler. As Jack Giles has dropped back a couple of places. Tom Cosme's gone through, and I think he's still fighting Patrick. Oh, and that's Stephen Harrison wide. Ant Waddington's through. Stephen Harrison wide at Spoon, and now Arthur Bowler, and there's George Massey wide as well. So Ant Waddington takes 2 places in one corner, and now Arthur Bowler's having a look at George Massey as well into 130R. He's made that stick to George Massey. They've just made a mistake at Spoon, and it's cost him dearly. He's lost a couple of places. CJ Allen gets past Ken Helderstad. The DRS hasn't been enabled. There's a bit of damage on George Massey's front wing, but of course he hasn't stopped to change that. And now Dean Barry gets past Callum as well. So Dean Barry up into 2nd. Well, I was saying it was going to be a tough job on those tyres to hang on, and it is being proven at the moment. Callum Harry's done 19 laps on these tyres, and now Callum Harry drops to 3rd place. Behind him now is Ant Waddington in the other Mercedes. So when is this going to stop here? Patrick Roscoe up to 7th. Now on the back of George Massey. Here we see it. So George, I think, with that front wing end fence missing, is struggling with a bit of understeer. We've seen Patrick, he's been involved in a lot of instances, so he's going to go up the inside. And George saw that one coming and left the door open. Patrick Roscoe moves up into 6th place. I mean, he will be delighted to have recovered 6th position with the race he's had, with the spins, the multiple pit stops for front wings, and he's somehow recovered it to 6th. Stephen Harrison is next behind George in 7th place. And let's have a look. Ant Waddington, Tom Cosme and Stephen Harrison getting very close. Here comes Ant Waddington going up the inside of Callum. So there, Callum sees his podium position now go as well. And Waddington moves into 3rd position. Next up for Callum is to hold off Arthur Bowler, who's on brand new soft tyres as well. We're on lap 48. For those of you watching on Twitch, I'm going to open it up to you now for your fan vote driver of the day. Get messaging on the Twitch chat page for your choice of driver of the day. I'll reveal my choice in a couple of laps time. If I can hear you, please leave comments in the chat on Twitch. So Arthur Bowler now, can he hang on to Anthony Bauer? Oh, there's the yellow flag in section 1. I think that's Jack Giles has gone off. Yes, there we see him recovering. So Jack Giles has dropped down the order to the back of the field behind his teammate. CJ Allen is right on the tail of Stephen Harrison. He's recovering very, very nicely, showing there really is some good pace. As Arthur Bowler does get past Callum up into the hairpin, so Callum drops back to 5th position. So Arthur Bowler, can he snatch a podium? He's been there or thereabouts all afternoon. We've seen the Mercedes struggling. But Arthur Bowler now has an opportunity for a podium. Anthony Bauer's lead is out to 2 seconds, and Dean Barry is another nearly 3 seconds clear of his teammate Ant Waddington. This is the fight for the last podium position. Anthony Bauer sets a new lap record. CJ Allen's got past Stephen Harrison. Can you believe it? The Toro Rosso has got past the Ferrari as George Massey pits. So he couldn't cope with that front wing. Stephen Harrison is coming back at the Toro Rosso. The Toro Rosso does stay ahead though. So George and Jack Giles pitting on lap 49. I haven't had any votes yet on the Twitch chat. Please get involved for your fan vote driver of the day. Please tell me who you think your driver of the day has been, and I will read them out as and when I can. But this is the fight now. Ant Waddington, 3rd place. Can he hang on and snatch another podium? He had one at Italy. Can he hang on? And can Arthur Bowler take what I believe will be his 1st podium of the season? And now Ken Helberstad gets past Stephen. Stephen is really struggling for pace. Ken Helberstad in 10th position. We've got to vote for Patrick Orozco for driver of the day. Look how close Arthur is now to the back of Ant Waddington. They come down into the final chicane. This is going to be close as Patrick gets past Callum. Patrick now gets past Callum. Callum drops to 6th position. It was a brave decision to stay out on those tyres. And he's doing it again. Ken Helberstad up into 10th place. And Ant Waddington really having to fight hard. To hang on to 3rd place. Don't forget, Ant Waddington was right down near the back earlier on, and he's recovered well. Has been helped a lot by the fact he stayed out under the last safety car, which has moved him right up the order, but he still had to pull off a couple of overtakes. They're dropping Patrick now. Can Patrick start to close the gap behind them in 5th position? There you can just see the Renault. Arthur really does want to get past, and he's having a look up the inside of the hairpin. That's brave. Can Ant get the cut back? Yes, he can, but now Arthur's got the track position, and Arthur Bowler takes 3rd place brilliantly. Absolutely brilliant. Now Ant Waddington's trying to have a look back, but I think those soft tyres will just about be enough for Arthur to pull away. Arthur Bowler up into 3rd place. Great, brave move, and Ant Waddington getting a good slipstream. Same engine, of course, they're going to have the same power down into the chicane. Can Arthur Bowler hang on to this into the chicane? He's got the inside line, and he does for now, but Ant will have the DRS. If Arthur can hang on, I think the extra grip from those soft tyres will help him enormously in the first sector. And Ant is back through. Ant does retain 3rd place. So Ant Waddington is driving brilliantly. It's very even between the top two. The gap's remaining at around a second. So Arthur Bowler's going to do it all over again. And look out behind him because Patrick Orozco is there as well. Wouldn't it be amazing if Patrick can snatch a podium with the dreadful race he's had for so long, and he's now in 5th position, snapping at the heels of a podium. So this is the main fight on track. They're 5 seconds behind Dean Barry now in 2nd place. Arthur Bowler, you would think his best opportunity is to stick behind Ant through this section and try and get the slipstream into the chicane or even the DRS into turn 1. So that's where Ant got back past him as they come up towards 130R. One more time, we're on lap 51. We've only got 2 laps to go. Dean's got the gap down to less than 2 seconds out front. So he's not given up on the race win either. And amazingly, as things stand, the top 3 in the race, despite everything that's happened, were the same top 3 in qualifying, which is quite unbelievable when you think of how much incident we had. Anthony Barr on pole, Dean Barry 2nd, and Ant Waddington 3rd. They were the top 3 in qualifying. So it's quite incredible when you think of how much has gone on here today. Callum Harrod is now hanging on to 6th from Tom Cosme. So on the drive of the day, the fan votes, we've had a couple of votes for CJ, who is currently running in 9th position. We've also had a vote for Patrick Orozco. Ken's been mentioned as well, yet again up in 10th position. But the fan vote driver of the day, the first one we've had here on Talk of the Devil, is for Callum Harrod. Possibly slightly biased opinions, but hey, Callum Harrod wins the first fan vote driver of the day. Look at how close Patrick is here to the back of Arthur. They're going to be very close. Patrick's had a couple of instances into that corner, but they are going to be very, very close. But he just hangs on, and that's given Ant Waddington a bit of breathing room in the fight to stay on the podium. Can Patrick get anywhere near the back of the Racing Point down into the final chicane. He's having a little look at it. Fastest lap from Anthony Bauer. He's just putting his authority on this race now. The gap out to 3 seconds. We're still looking at this fight because it's getting more and more intense. Patrick's got the DRS now. Does he have the straight line speed to contend with the Racing Point? He's going to have to go the long way. Arthur's making it go around the outside. It's going to be brave from there. Patrick is trying to hang it out, but Arthur pushes him out of room. So Arthur Bowler hangs on for 4th position. So that was very, very brave, and Arthur's now gone for fighting for a podium to try to hang on to 4th place. Tom Cosme, meanwhile, has got past Callum to move into 6th position. Another penalty for Patrick. He does have a couple of penalties to his name, but we're on the final lap. Here is your race leader. And the yellow flag is next one. I think that's CJ Allen gone off. It is. CJ Allen has gone off at the Dunlop curve. And he drops behind Stephen Harrison. I don't know what's happened to Stephen in this last few laps of the race. He's got a little bit of front wing damage, but he's had absolutely no pace whatsoever. So, but meanwhile, Anthony Bauer comes through to win what has been an extremely eventful race. He wins in Japan. Dean Barry crosses the line in second, 9 seconds back in the end after the penalties were applied. Here they come across the line. They still haven't given up, and Arthur Bowler does take 3rd. Thanks to the penalty, Arthur Bowler takes 3rd and Waddington 4th. Well, Patrick Roscoe's had a lot of penalties added. So Dan Blackwell snatches 5th. Tom Cosme takes 6th. Callum hangs on to 7th in the end. Patrick Orozco drops back to 8th after all that. Stephen Harrison is going to come through, and he does take 9th. Patrick Orozco's had so many penalties here today that he's crossed the line 5th, but he ends up 10th. There is George Massey. He finishes 12th. CJ Allen's finishing 11th. Just waiting for Jack Giles to come through. He is our last finisher in 13th place, but still more points on the board. Driver of the day for me, it's a very tough one for me today. Callum's driven extremely well. Got to give a mention to Tom Cosme finishing 5th in the Haas. Yet again, another fantastic drive for Ken Helderstad. He finished 7th in Russia. He's finished 8th here. Yet another brilliant drive. But I'm going to give the driver of the day to Arthur Bowler for coming home in 3rd place in the Racing Point. Drove well all day. And he ends up with a podium finish in the end. There you have your top 3. Anthony Bauer wins the race from Dean Barry. 3rd place for Arthur Bowler. I'm going to get the top 3. I'm going to get the top 3 now in for an interview so we can hear what they've got to say. I'll just find them very quickly. So there is Arthur. So yes, hopefully very, very soon we'll have the top 3 in. Wow. What can I say? You 3. Please, can everyone just make sure that your audio is included so everyone can hear you?
Yeah, we're good.
Well, Anthony Bauer, I mean, that was probably the most eventful race of the season, but you hung on to the race win. You must be pleased with the result, but what a race we had today.
I am shaking right now. The fights that I had between Dean, Waddington, Callum, everyone. I was just they kept me honest the entire race. That was easily the hardest race one I've ever worked for.
Yes, well, you seem to have the pace, especially after one of the safety car periods when the track was still a little bit damp. You seem to pull away very, very quickly. How treacherous was that time after the safety car with the rain coming down?
Oh man, when the track was still wet and everyone was on slicks, I don't know how I kept that on the track, to be honest. I'm well known to be good in the rain, but nobody's super skilled when it's wet and slicks. So it felt good to pull a gap on everyone like that.
Yeah, you certainly did have the pace. And by my maths as well, my maths is usually rubbish, but by my maths, it means you actually take the World Championship lead by a point.
Jesus.
Oh man, that's going to go right down to the wire.
Your teammate finished in 10th position. You end up with 26 points.
Can I just
Your
say,
teammate ends up with 11.
Ferrari's wrapped up the constructors.
Ferrari have
Well, wait a
wrapped up
minute.
the
Wait a minute.
championship
I think it's
today.
27 points. Did I not get fastest lap?
Fastest lap. Yep, you did.
You did. So actually, yes, you'll lead by 2 points.
That's
So
going to come right down to the wire.
You must be really pleased because you were quite a long way behind at one point. So you must be really pleased to get yourself up into the World Championship lead now.
Yes and no. I mean, obviously I've been on pretty decent form ever since I made the jump to Ferrari, but Steve has had some tough races, and you never want that for a teammate.
No, and I'm going to move over to Dean. Dean, eventful race for you. You started on the front row, got caught out early on. You made quite an early pit stop, but then the safety car sort of caught you out, didn't you? Ended up a long way back.
Yeah, a couple of wing changes in that race, so I have no idea how I managed it second. But
And how did you find the conditions when the rain started coming down? The track did look very wet at one point.
it was just pure comedy, mate. Just pure comedy in our team chat. It was just sideways for everyone constantly, I think.
Yes, and you just started edging up on Anthony towards the end of the race. Did you think you might have a chance of snatching the win?
No, I knew he was on the fresh soft, so I was just trying to build the gap between me and the cars behind me. Can I just bring a bit of information in as well?
You can indeed, yes.
So Anthony finished in front of you, did he? Arthur.
Yeah.
He didn't have any penalties.
Neither did I. My timing screen was messed up. But it said the gaps behind me were bigger than they were, and then the gaps in front of me were bigger than they were. Like, my timing screen was messed up, so I don't know what's happened there.
I think Ant did get a penalty. I did see Ant's name flash up with a penalty, but I don't think Arthur did. So I think that's why
I only had one
Arthur
warning.
snatched third.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
sure
think Ant
got
did get a
penalty.
penalty. Yeah. So I think that's why it did it. But Arthur, you started in 6th.
Yeah.
And you were running second for a while, but you still must be pleased to be on. Am I right in saying it's your first podium?
Last year, as a reserve, I got 3 at the end of the season. But yeah, this is the first one this season, yeah.
So you must be pleased to be on the podium.
Yeah, you can say I'm pleased. I've got really sweaty palms and I couldn't breathe for about that. Because I thought Dean had 11 seconds of penalties, but he didn't, and I thought I was going to get third and Ant was going to get second, but obviously Dean stayed second and then Ant dropped behind me. So I don't know what
penalties were served in my pit stops, so it was 5 seconds. One was the safety car pushing me off the road, and the second was speeding in the pit lane, but they were both served in the pit stop, so thank God.
And after you made a late stop as well on
Mate,
the last safety car.
I have not stopped. I wish I'd not stopped.
I was going to say, because it dropped you back to 8th, but you had some stunning overtakes and move on. I saw one of the overtakes on Ant down into the hairpin. You did pull out some brilliant overtakes to come through.
I did dizzy in 130R. I was gassing.
Yeah, we saw that on stream as well.
I think I did Callum as well, but I can't remember where I did Callum. I did Callum as well. But, oh yeah, I did them inside the hairpin. Yeah, that was it. 'Cause I thought
eighth to third in the last few
8th to
laps.
3rd,
I mean,
yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, I'm mega happy. It's helped me out in the championship loads. So yeah.
and it's helped your team out as well, because they dropped to 6th in the constructors.
Yeah,
I mean, Tom Cosme came home 5th.
Yeah, we'd had quite a few incidents the last kind of 3 or 4 races, which we've been really unlucky with, really. And I should have been in a lot higher up in Singapore and Italy, and I would have finished at Russia if it wasn't for the incident with Ant, which wasn't his fault either. It was kind of both of our faults. But yeah,
and he glitched out at Belgium while running 2nd as well.
Oh yeah, and that.
So you have had
Hungary was my last
well,
good
both
result.
you and your teammate, you've had an unlucky last few races, really.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's welcome points for the team.
Yes,
definitely. And next up,
Mexico.
Mexico next.
Yes.
Are you looking forward to Mexico, everyone?
Yeah, I'm going to be ridiculously quick round there.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for making my job as hard as possible by a million overtakes everywhere. I literally struggle to keep up, but thank you very much, and we'll see you all next week.
See you later.
See you later, boys.
Good days, boys.
Yeah, man,
So thank you very much to everyone who has watched me on the stream this evening. The numbers I've seen has been a record number of viewers. At one point we were at 29 viewers, so I'm very happy about that. Thank you to everyone who's watched me. Thank you for everyone who's taken part on Twitch as well with the comments, and we'll see you next weekend for the Mexican Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye for now.